provides immediate lifetime support for post 9/11 wounded, critically ill, and injured members of the U.S. Armed Forces, veterans, and their families to ease recovery and transition back home to their communities. The Semper Fi Fund, serving those who preserve our freedom. The basic idea that drives these efforts is simple. For as much as our heroes have sacrificed, they deserve the best care and support available in their hour of need, whenever it may occur. The Semper Fi Fund, a 4-star charity and an A+ rating, has served over 16,000 members since 2004. The Semper Fi Fund, serving those who preserve our freedom. For more information, visit them online at www.semperfifund.org.
And good evening, everyone. Live from Bob Oltolski Field on the campus of Marian High School here in beautiful Mishawaka, Indiana. This is high school football on the Regional Radio Sports Network, and we welcome you to Week 2 in the high school football regular season here on the Regional Radio Sports Network, wherever it is that you're tuning in from, on our website at rrsn.com or on our Facebook at Regional Radio Sports Network. Well, we welcome you to tonight's broadcast. My name is Tanner Camp alongside Andrew Bone. We got Liz Hoosier and Mia McComish, bringing you the sights and sounds of our game tonight here from Bob Oltolski Field here in Mishawaka. And tonight, we got a non-conference matchup here in Mishawaka, as it's the Mishawaka Marian Knights coming in after a tough loss to Mishawaka last week at Steel Stadium, and they're going to take on the Culver Academy Eagles after their 21-14 victory against the South Bend Adams Eagles at TCU School Field last Friday night. Let's set the stage for you here, as we already talked about the Mishawaka Marian Knights out of the Northern Indiana Conference, or NIC, looking to bounce back after a tough 44-12 loss last Friday night against the Mishawaka Cavemen over at Steel Stadium. And on the flip side, for the Culver Academy Eagles, not in the conference, an independent team, they are looking to get off to a 2-0 start after earning the 21-14 victory against the South Bend Adams Eagles on the road at TCU School Field. And we're going to go ahead and bring Andrew Bowen into the mix. And Andrew, last week, a tough loss for Marian, but we'll get to Mike Davidson's interview at some point. But one thing that is important is Mishawaka, always a tough squad. Keith Kinder's done a really nice job with that program. They run the ball aggressively, and other than that first drive, Mishawaka, for the Marian Knights, they just have to find a way to be able to really get back. But what were some of the things that, for Marian, after looking at that game, they're going to have to bounce back?
Well, yeah, absolutely. They're going to have to bounce back. I know at the beginning of the season, senior quarterback Bryce Lassane said they were hungry. I don't think last week's result did anything to whet that appetite, so I'm going to see if they're going to come out here and be hungry just as they were at the start of the season. Again, a bit of a rivalry between Mishawaka and Marian, so that's got to play into it as well. But we want to see if how hungry they are and if they're still as hungry as they were to start the season. But I want to see them finish tonight. I mean, I think a really big key to the game is to see if Marian can continue to finish plays, they can finish drives, finish end of the half, end of the game scenarios. They were right there with Mishawaka for
Absolutely.
a majority of the game.
Oh, yeah.
20-12, they were right there, and then Mishawaka just kind of took it to them. So I want to see, in a word, finish for Marian today.
Then on the flip side, when it comes to the Culver Academy Eagles, Andy Dorrell's always done a really nice job with this team. They're always a team that you have to be prepared for, of course, out of Culver, Indiana. And I tell you what, the win last week, they got up 14-0 early in the first quarter, and then it kind of was steady. They kind of just were steady at this point, but then they get one more score in order to put themselves up 21-7. And again, give props to the Eagles. They were able to put one more score up to make it 21-14, but in the end, it was just Culver Academy. But I tell you what, this is not going to be a team that Mishawaka can just look and say, hey, we're going to be able to take these guys out to the woodshed.
Yeah, when I think of Culver Academies, I think discipline. And so I think if you're going to be successful as Culver Academy tonight, you got to stay disciplined, got to stay within what you do well, and continue to do well, continue to drive the ball down the field, and stay within yourselves. And I think it could be a good result for the Academy today.
We look forward to tonight's contest here from Bob Oltolski Field, and we want to thank all the great sponsors that make it possible here tonight, including our friends from the United States Marine Corps, the Ronald McDonald House. Also thanks to our friends at Beef O'Brady's, Cintier Bank, McDonald Physical Therapy, Troy Gill, as well as J-Mill Packaging, and the Dero family. We're going to take a quick 2-minute timeout. When we come back, we'll take a look more in-depth for both the Knights and the Eagles, and later on we're going to talk with both Mike Davidson, the 6th-year head coach for the Knights, and Andy Dorrell, the 26th-year head coach for the Culver Academy Eagles. Once again, Tanner Camp, Andrew Bowen, Liz Hoosier, and Mia McComish, all here at Bob Oltolski Field here on the campus of Marian High School in Mishawaka, Indiana. We'll be right back after this quick 2-minute timeout here on the Regional Radio Sports Network.
Have you checked out Centier Bank's student checking account? This no-fee checking account is perfect for students and teens ages 14 to 24 and comes with all the features you need to succeed, such as a debit card, digital banking, and automatic deposit. Centier Bank can help you start establishing good spending habits today for your better tomorrow. For more information, visit Centier.com/student-checking or visit your local branch. If you are under the age of 18, your parent or guardian must also sign on the Centier student checking account. At the age of 25, your account will automatically convert to the Centier checking account. You must deposit $25 to open this account. This account is not eligible for overdraft advantage. Member FDIC.
Did you know there's a place right here in Michiana that provides comfort and care for families of sick or injured children? Ronald McDonald House Charities of Michiana gives families everything they need, whether it's a hot shower, a comfortable bed, or a home-cooked meal. This allows parents to truly prioritize the health and well-being of their child. Because of people in this community just like you, RMHC Michiana provides their services at zero cost to the families. Find out how you can volunteer or donate to rmhcmichiana.org.
There's always a moment of truth where it's either put up or shut up. We were yelling our hearts out. Even in our weakness, even in our pain, we continued to push. I don't know where the pain went to, but all I know is that I had what it took. I am a United States Marine.
PFC Darrell Willis serves his country as a Marine. Will you? Visit Marines.com or call 1-800-MARINES.
They came from every corner of the country, from small towns and big cities. But they all shared one thing in common. They belonged to a family called Marines. A tough and determined few dedicated to protecting everything we hold sacred. And still, they come. Celebrate the history of those proud few who have earned the title Marine.
Welcome back here to Bob Tolsky Field here on the campus of Marian High School in beautiful Mishawaka, Indiana. Tanner Camp, Andrew Bowen, Liz Hoosier, and Mia McComish bringing you all the details here from Mishawaka. Let's go ahead and look at the scouting report. First things first for the Mishawaka Marian Knights. Again, Marian, they were able to produce 230 yards of offense in that loss to Mishawaka with 108 on the ground and 122 in the air. And as Andrew mentioned early on, it was senior quarterback Bryce Lassane who produced 136 of those yards, and the Knights were able to tie it up 6-6 on their first drive, which was an impressive drive. That was 10-plus plays, and the Knights would eventually put 6 more up on the board in the second to make it 20-12 again, as Andrew had mentioned, and it was close. That's as close as it get for the Knights, as in the end it was Mishawaka just overpowering the Knights, as they do with a lot of teams in their upcoming schedule. On the flip side for the Culver Academy Eagles, Culver Academy got off to that quick 14-0 lead in the first quarter at TCU School Field in South Bend, but the Adams Eagles, they would not go away easily. They would score with 3 minutes left in the third to bring the score within one score, 14-7, but then a rushing touchdown from junior running back Tay Rodriguez, so keep an eye on his name for tonight, would put CMA up 21-7. Again, Adams would give themselves a fighting chance with a score from Phoenix Clark, but in the end, it would be Culver Academy winning there. How about this, Andrew? Their 13th straight Week 1 game by a score of 21-14. So needless to say, got two teams kind of coming in with different mindsets, and we'll hear about this in the Mike Davidson interview here in just a moment. But I tell you what, the reality is, Mike Davidson said, I'll give you a little bit of a preview from there, is that despite the loss, he felt like last year when they lost, they didn't learn anything. But from last week, they've learned so much already about their team, and they've had to endure a lot with the last 2 days, really with a lot of heat. Luckily, it's cooled down just a little bit here in Mishawaka, but the reality is Coach Davidson seems to be proud that even though, despite what the score says, he's proud of how his guys played against Mishawaka.
When you have a lot of leaders in terms of players on the team as well, that helps to build that culture and build that understanding that one loss doesn't define you, doesn't define the season. So I think Mishawaka Marian has those types of players in here. The coach is building that type of attitude and that mindset to turn around and forget last week quickly, and I think we're going to see a different Marian team today.
While we have the opportunity, let's thank our friends over at Beef O'Brady's in Granger. It's the place to go before or after the game. Locally owned and operated for more than a decade, they are a family-oriented business featuring a private party room with seating for up to 60 people, along with an outside patio area that can seat up to 20 guests. Located at State Road 23 and Bittersweet Road, Beef's has daily specials Mondays through Friday and offers dine-in and carry-out service. They are also the spot to watch all of your sporting events. For more information, the website is www.beefobradys.com or call 574-271-1415. Beef O'Brady's, good food, good sports. Let's take a look now at some of the other games going on around the Hoosier State. Of course, we've got 4 other games going on, Andrew Bowen, so RSN.com. 5 football games now on Friday night. Definitely the place that you're going to want to be at. Of course, our game here between the Eagles and the Knights, between CMA and Mishawaka Marian. Of course, we've got probably one of the more anticipated games in all of the state. Mishawaka at Penn, the backyard brawl, back for the first time since 2019 over on 91.1 FM, the Globe, WGCS Goshen. Paul Condrey and the crew, they're out at Maryville as the Pirates take on his alma mater, the Hobart Brickies, on 95.9 WeFM. The Port Slicers, after a big-time upset against New Prairie last week, they're traveling to the Inferno to take on the Lowell Red Devils. And also, we got on our coverage the Wheeler Bearcats. They travel to Fred Jones Field to take on the Kankakee Valley Cougars. A couple of local games here. South Bend Clay, they're taking on Boone Grove. Bremen, they're at South Bend Washington. Elkhart, after a tough loss to Concord last week, they travel to Northridge after picking up an impressive win in Fort Wayne over the North Legends. Goshen, they're at New Prairie. This should be a good one here. Jimtown is at Concord, and South Bend Riley is at Glen. And then we take a look at some of the notable statewide games. Andrew, I tell you what, there are a couple good ones here. Evansville Mater Dei, the defending 2A state champs, they're at Castle. Evansville North is at Evansville Memorial. Fort Wayne Snyder at East Noble. That's a good matchup there. Probably another one of the big boy games in all the state of Indiana. Indianapolis Cathedrals at Brownsburg. A battle between 2 of the top 5 teams in 6A. Kokomo at Wyland. That's another fantastic matchup between the Wildcats and the Warriors. LCC Lafayette Central Catholic at Guerin Catholic. Oakland out of Tennessee. They're taking on the 3-time defending Center Grove Trojans. Tri-West Hendricks. They're at Brebeuf Jesuit. Valparaiso, the 5A state champs, they're at Andrean. And then another battle of the big boys. It's Warren Central as they travel to Fort Wayne to take on the 6A runner-up Carroll Chargers. Well, we're going to go ahead and get right into our interview that I had a chance to talk with Mike Davidson ahead of today's game. Had a chance to talk with him before to talk about what they learned after that Mishawaka game and what they need to do in order to pick up win number 1 on the 2023 season. Again, had a chance to talk with Mike Davidson, the head coach for the Marian Knights, and file this report. High school football here for you tonight from Marian High School here in Mishawaka on the Regional Radio Sports Network on our website at rrsn.com. Week 2 of the high school football season. Tanner Camp happy to be joined with Mike Davidson for the Marian Knights. And Coach, last week a tough loss against Mishawaka, but always a challenging Week 1 opponent, and Keith has done a really nice job with that program. But one thing I took away from that and being there was a great first drive that you guys strung together to get your first 6 points up on the year. What were some of the other key takeaways that you took in that game against Mishawaka?
Yeah, I think we had some positives coming away from it. We got handed last.
High school football here for you tonight from Marian High School here in Mishawaka on the Regional Radio Sports Network on our website at rrsn.com. Week 2 of the high school football season. Tanner Camp happy to be joined with Mike Davidson for the Marian Knights. And Coach, last week a tough loss against Mishawaka, but always a challenging Week 1 opponent, and Keith has done a really nice job with that program. But one thing I took away from that and being there was a great first drive that you guys strung together to get your first 6 points up on the year. What were some of the other key takeaways that you took in that game against Mishawaka?
Yeah, I think we had some positives coming away from it. We got handed last year and the year before, and we did not have those positives. As far as offensively, I think we controlled the line of scrimmage pretty well, moved the football. When you turn the ball over 3 times against them and gave them an extra 10 points plus a kickoff return in the first half for a touchdown, you take 17 points off the board, and it's a much closer ball game. So I don't think the score is really indicative of the way we played. Defensively, we got them into some 3rd and longs and just failed to execute and make them in 4th and long. So I was, even though the score was ugly, I was very pleased is not the right word, but I had a much more positive attitude coming away from it heading into this week.
Yeah, and again, as I mentioned, that always challenging week one opponent with Mishawaka, but still some good takeaways. And I thought Bryce Lassane did a nice job still at that quarterback spot. And I think Brian Osmond also did a nice job from the running back spot in terms of the rushing. So just tell us a little bit about what makes Bryce and Brian such key players on their team. Of course, obviously, when you're in that quarterback spot at a school like Marian, that's such a proud football tradition. That is a big responsibility. So what are some of the big things that makes Bryce deserving of that quarterback spot? And what's Brian done to really help improve his game for the Knights this year? Yeah,
Brian's taken a big step forward. He was sort of forced into action last year as a sophomore, and take a big step forward. I think he's a lot more patient, better vision this year, and also done a much better job catching the ball for us out of the backfield. Bryce, I think he's taken a much better leadership role for us this year. Statistically, I don't think it was his prettiest game, but at the same time, bouncing back from whether it was turnovers or bad reads or whatever the case may be, I think he's overcoming those obstacles much better than he did last year.
We take a look just being here at Otolsky Field, and I tell you what, really is a special place. I love when I get to drive by, you see the scoreboard from the distance and everything, and as we see your players just swarming, you can tell they're just amped to be back here at home again. Mishawaka, not exactly the farthest places you guys will have to go, but just tell us a little bit about what it's like to be back here on your own home field for week 2 and get in preparation to get ready for Culver.
Yeah, we're excited. On top of it being the home opener, we're honoring our 73 state championship team. So we got about 15, 20 guys that are going to be out here at halftime. So we're really excited to hopefully put on a good show for them. They laid the foundation. I talked to our guys a little bit about it in pregame. As far as they don't expect superstars or anything like that. The effort and attitude that those guys played with are what Marian football is all about. So we're excited to put that on display tonight.
I know for our halftime interview coverage, Paul Condrey had the chance to talk with Mike Heklinski, the co-coach, of course, a big part of those 3 championship banners. Just tell us a little bit about, I don't know if you've gotten a chance to talk to Coach Heklinski and what he's done for this program, or if they've gotten a chance to talk to the guys, but I know in talking with him, he really laid the foundation, what it really means to be a Marian Knight. So just tell us a little bit about if you've gotten the chance to talk to Coach Heklinski and what he's done to kind of help you out or help his team out.
I didn't get a chance to talk to him this year. A couple of years ago I did when we were going to get together, I think, for their 45th, and things fell through. But he's always, a phone call away. He's down there in Florida soaking up the sun, but he's always, chiming in. Hey, great win. Saw the score. Good job, guys. Proud of you. All that stuff. And, as far as the guys, there's quite a few guys that my dad was a few years ahead of them. A couple of the guys that coached when I was in grade school, I know and keep in touch with. So they had a nice dinner last night. I was able to meet and greet and catch up with quite a few of them. And they're all really, really excited just about coming back, seeing the Knights, and pulling off a victory tonight.
We take a look at this Culver Academy team. Of course, Andy's really done a nice job over at CMA, and they got themselves a good victory over at TCU School Field against South Bend Adams, and getting that early lead. And Adams was able to get it close, but in the end of the day, Andy's group was able to get the job done. So in order for the Marian Knights to get that first win on the season, what are going to be the keys to protect home field today?
We got to control the football. Keep getting first downs, not turn the ball over, stay out of third and longs offensively. Which I know is sort of coach talk, but when you look at the film, they did a good job of taking care of business against Adams defensively. I think they gave up one big play for a score, but other than that, they shut them down near the goal line a couple of times. Their defense is always tough, well coached, gives a lot of people problems. Defensively, we can't give up those big plays. We've got to make them, drive it, not give up the big plays, and no dumb penalties. And we got to have a much better. Our kick game was not pretty last week, and knowing Andy, their kick game is always top notch. So we know we got our hands full, but I like our chances with what our guys have done this week. We had a good week of prep, and our guys are really, really focused.
That's Mike Davidson, the head coach of the Marian Knights. Coach, pleasure to catch up with you. Looking forward to next week already, and best of luck in tonight's game.
All right, thanks a lot, Tanner.
Once again, great to catch up with Mike Davidson, the sixth-year head coach for the Marian Knights in his sixth season. 43 wins, 21 losses, and has been a big part of keeping that Marian tradition. I mean, Andrew, the reality is when you look at some of the small schools, not just in this area, but in this northern half of the state, Marian always a contender. But last year, 2-8, kind of a shock for everyone, but due to injuries and just a lot of young guys playing, the reality is this: if there's any other motivation, if you're one of these players suiting up tonight, the motivation is this: Marian football is a high standard, so we're not going to let last year be the same way.
Last year was an outlier, but 3 straight trips to the semi-state game, sectional championships, 2015, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So you don't want to be the class in there and the teams in there that are going to let that go. So I think they're going to come out here and they're going to be ready to go.
So let's go ahead and flip things over quick. We're going to talk with Andy Dorrell. Had a chance to catch up with him and file this report.
Culver Academy Eagles and your Marian Knights.
High school football in action for you tonight from Bob Otolsky Field here in Mishawaka, Indiana. Tanner Camp here with you for Friday Night Lights, week number 2, and happy to have Andy Dorrell on the call here with today as he's head coach for the Culver Academy Eagles. And Coach, as always, great to visit with you. And I tell you what, last week's 21-14 win was a good one back here in South Bend. So you make the trip from South Bend back to Culver, and now you come back to Mishawaka to take on the Marian Knights. Looking back to last week, what were some of the things that you really liked from your team?
Yeah, I really excited the way we started the game. You know, forced early 3 and out, got great field position. We were able to put the ball in the end zone right away. Really a great confidence builder to start the season. But then we made some mistakes along the way. But the resiliency of our young men in week 1 was really evident as we had our backs against the wall, but really never flinched. Just kept pounding and executing the best we could, considering week 1 miscues that emerged, but looking forward to how we can grow from week 1 to week 2.
Yeah, and that's a good win. Of course, South Bend Adams, a 5A school. Now you go up against a Marian team that's a 3A school. And last year they were 2-8, but I tell you what, one of those two, of course, was against you guys. And Marian's a team you always have to keep an eye on. But one player that we have to keep on our spotlight tonight, and a player that's on our Indiana Football Digest Apologize for that. Let's get back to Andy Dorrell's comments. We have to get the national anthem underway. Let's go ahead and get back to Andy Dorrell's comments. Class 4A preseason All-State team, and that's Henry Martello. I tell you what, you already mentioned the numbers from that South Bend Adams game, and last year he was limited due to some injury, but I tell you what, he seems like a young man that really knows how to dominate on the field. But tell us a little bit about what else Henry does that helps make you proud to be able to coach him and have him represent CMA.
Henry's a leader by example. He's not a guy that talks a lot. He just shows up, does the work, and raises the level of play of his teammates. And inevitably, when you get a young man or a group of young men that can make others around them better, that's the makeup that you need to have an extraordinary team. And Henry is that type of young man who just makes everyone around him better. And I'm sure he's going to attract some double teams tonight. They're going to be keying on him on offense. And really, Henry is what makes our defensive line, our offensive line go. So having a young man like Henry is really a privilege to coach.
when you take a look at this team, of course, summer workouts, and it's always great after looking back on years like 2020 and 2021 where we had to endure so much, and the off-season workouts are such a crucial part because when you talk about teams that are going to win your sectional championships or really compete against those top-tier organizations, it's going to be really important for those off-season workouts and practices for players to step up, not just as a team, but also individually as well. So who are some players that you've seen already make big improvements from those preseason workouts, even after the Week 1 win against Adams?
Well, we take a little bit different approach than most schools. We really push our guys to be multi-sport athletes, and we believe that competing in other sports and being coached by other great head coaches that we have here on campus is the key to our success. And some of the guys that really thrived in the off-season, Martello was one. He was a semi-state wrestler. He won the sectional in track in both shot and discus. Kyle Egebratton had a great off-season for us in the lacrosse field. Tay Rodriguez, Foster Stockton's a baseball player. Just Trey Schumacher's a baseball player. We just got so many guys that do so many other things that complement their athleticism and help them develop that competitive edge. It's so important if you're going to be successful on a Friday night.
Yeah, and Coach, I totally agree with you in that regard. I think multi-sport athletes end up being such a huge part in their development for football, as well as just staying involved with the campus community. So for someone that, when you take a look at the work that all these individual players have done, who are some names that have already really, really improved? I mean, as we mentioned, one player that I'm going to keep an eye on, of course, is your son, Owen Dorrell. And when looking at a couple of the other players, of course, you got guys like Joe Maverick. Of course, his dad is the defensive coordinator for this team. And Kyle Egenbratton, as you said, I was really impressed when I was taking a look at him in preparation for this game. So what is it about Joe and Kyle that have really helped them elevate to become big-time players on this Culver team?
Just understanding the game of football better. So much of this game is a mental. Rarely do you get high school guys that just simply dominate because of their physical stature. It's about self-confidence, about understanding assignments, it's about reading keys. It's about trusting your teammates, and that's really what has been the biggest growth for our team from last year. We have tremendous leaders like a Rory Sullivan and Aiden Cartnell. You've mentioned Kyle, Martello. These guys have really brought our younger players along. Our junior class is very talented, and the seniors have just done a wonderful job of helping those guys understand the commitment it takes in practice and focus and trust in one another to be successful. So I really give a lot of credit to our seniors who've led our juniors, and now our juniors are empowering our sophomores. And it's really how we operate here is through selfless service, and our student leadership system really complements our football program.
All right, Coach, now let's take a look at this Marian team. Of course, Mike Davidson has done an absolutely great job with the Knights program. Last year at 2-8, my guess is that the team is looking at that, and they're not going to allow that to happen. Marian truly is in 3A, one of those teams that you have to keep an eye on. And the last two matchups have been interesting between you guys as well as the Knights because the winner has been the road team. So if it goes in a way... We're now going to get to our opening prayer here before the contest.
You formed us in the womb, and you have fashioned us in your image and likeness. As we gather to pray, we thank you for the gift of our life and the gift of faith, for you have revealed yourself to us in your Son, Jesus. For all these blessings, we thank you. And now we turn to you and ask for your grace and guidance. May you lead us to eternal life. But in this moment, we ask especially that you keep all of us safe and free from harm. May this time be blessed. All these things we ask in the name of your Son, our Lord Jesus Christ. Amen.
You guys have the advantage tonight, but still, Mike Davidson's done a great job with this Marian team. In order for Culver Academy to go 2-0 to start the season and get the road victory, what are going to be the keys to a win tonight?
We just got to slow their offense down. They are extremely high octane. I mean, they have 8 returning starters on offense, a 3-year starting quarterback, some dynamic athletes on that side of the ball. We're just going to have to limit their touches as much as we can on offense because they're a team that can be very explosive. Defensively, they're very solid. They run their 4-3, and they do it extremely well. They're physical. They'll hit you. And we had 4 turnovers last week, and if we expect to be successful tonight, we're going to have to control that football and protect the football.
That's Andy Dorrell, the head coach for the Culver Military Academy Eagles. Once again, huge thank you to Andy Dorrell for taking some time out of the day to catch up with me ahead of time. And when we take a look at his record again, 26th season, and in the overall record for the coach, 146 wins and 126 losses. Now we're getting ready for the opening coin toss for the two teams. And first things first, let's meet our officials. Tony Druzewski, we got Bruce Hershey, Michael Kelly, Jay Miller, and Jacob Yoder, who are going to be our officials here for this game as we see the Culver Military Academy Eagles now enter the field. They're going to be in the white uniforms with the white pants as well, and they're going to have the maroon/burgundy type helmets, and it's got the eagle wings on those helmets. On the flip side for your Marian Knights, they're going to be in the blue uniforms with the blue pants. They got the gray helmets, and it's got that Marian crescent on the side of their helmet. Well, should be an absolutely great time here tonight. And Andrew, again, we talked about the heat, but right now our forecast as we get ready, 76, partly cloudy. Real field is hovering right around 80, but it's going to be cloudy throughout the rest of this night, get a little bit cooler, so probably on the warmer side than you and I would like it. But in terms of what we had the last couple of days, this is going to still be a nice night for some Friday night football.
Definitely a nice reprieve from the last couple nights. It's a beautiful night for football. That sun could be an issue as it is setting to our left as you're listening on the radio dial or on Facebook on the screen. So I think it's as the teams are setting up, Culver's going that way first. So I think that's a little bit of a home field advantage there for Marian, putting the visitors into the sun to start the game.
Well, the coin toss is going to make a huge difference, as it looks like Culver's going to be starting going from right to left, and Marian will be going from left to right. In terms of the all-time series, as we get that for you here when it comes to Marian, so it looks like Marian is going to kick off first to Culver, and as Andrew mentioned, that could be a huge advantage on this opening drive at least. But when you take a look at the all-time series, it's the 14th meeting between the Eagles and the Knights. Marian won the last time these two teams played back in August 26th in the 22 season by a score of 21-3. But CMA, they lead the all-time series 8-6. And Andrew, when you just look at that, this has been a tight series throughout the last couple matchups here. So this is going to be one that there is no gimme here tonight. It's going to come down to who's going to make that extra play in order to get out of here. CMA looking to go 2-0, but Mishawaka Marian looking to get their first one on the season.
As I said in the open, we're going to see how hungry Marian is. They've got the senior leadership 3-year starting quarterback who's hungry. See if he continues to be hungry and they can finish the plays. And then on Culver Academy's side, you heard Coach talking about that in his interview. The understanding the game and the self and the mental side of it, the model of consistency and discipline, seniors leading the juniors leading the sophomores, and we'll see if Culver Academy can play their game tonight.
And for timeouts and touchdowns, we'll thank our friend Troy Gill for helping out with those throughout Mishawaka Marian, our football game here tonight. And then in terms of after first down, that's going to be thanks to our friends at J Mill Packaging and the Durrell family after first downs throughout the course here today. Our kicker for the Marian Knights is going to be number 22, Lucas Primrose, the junior. Averages nearly 44 yards per kickoff. He's also going to be the one taking point after touchdowns as well as the field goal. So when it comes to the kicking duties, the man to look out for is number 22 in Primrose. Marian will be going from left to right to start off the quarter, and the Eagles will be going from right to left. It's the Knights, it's the Eagles here in Mishawaka for week 2 of Indiana high school football and the regular season as we get ready to get things underway here from Bob Oltolski Field. This one is sent and going to be in a pretty good spot. Going to be caught right around the 16-yard line as out right to the ground for the Eagles taking that one. We're going to get a name here. It's going to be Trey Schumacher. It'll be either Schumacher wearing number 9, Rodriguez 7, or Sullivan number 4, who will take those for the kickoff returns. And now, so we'll flip things over. We'll start with the offense. And in control for the Culver Academy Eagles, it's going to be Michael McColgan, the 5'11", 181-pound junior. Last week, 8 for 13 for 121 yards. No scores, but 2 interceptions. So he'll be in control. And we'll get to the line here in just a minute. So play is going to start at the 20. And play is going to start as it's the quick toss on the near side, but not caught in time. An incomplete pass as the look was here on the near side to number 1 for Adam Cartmel. So an incomplete pass makes it 2nd and 10 here, our first possession here. So up front for the Eagles, Charlie Law. And for Rodriguez, the 5'9", 185-pound junior, had 2 scores for the Eagles last week. They're going to go back to him again, but a nice tackle on the play. How about that from number 30, Joseph Boone?
Rodriguez on the carry. Joseph Boone on the
And they're going to say that he's just short, so it's going to be a 4th down situation. 4th and 2. And so, Andrew, looks like that for CMA, it's going to be a one-and-done situation here on their first drive.
Good start to Marian, really swarming to that ball on the rushes and really getting to finish that drive, get a quick 3-and-out, get the offense on the field, get some momentum early.
So it'll be Tay Rodriguez on the punt, averages about 33 per punt. Got a real nice kick on that one. Now here come the Knights taking that one is Quinn Roan. And Roan is going to go out, and it looks like they're going to spot him at about the 50-yard mark. And check that, they'll get him more at the 49. And so now we're going to flip the card over, and now let's go ahead and we're going to meet the offense here. It's going to be at controls for Bryce Lassane. Hogs up front, Giovanni Garcia, Carson Jenk, Chris Briones. The center, Mark Warbington, and Harrison Grenert is going to be the Hogs up front. William Omens will be one of the receivers. Jack DeRoll, Braxton Books, and keep an eye on Brian Osmond. Had 86 rushing yards and one of the 2 scores for the Knights in last week's loss to Mishawaka. Keep an eye on Leo Pinocete, the 5'9", 205-pound senior. So now here is Lassane. And immediately we're going to have a flag on the play.
Looking like an illegal motion, possibly. False start for Marian.
False start. Not the way you want to start off your first offense possession here at home. So they're going to back up 5 yards. At halftime, we're going to have an interview as Paul Condrey had a chance to talk with Mike Keklinski, of course, the coach for those Knights teams that's gotten the only 3 state titles for this program back in the 70s, and so we hope you'll tune into that one at halftime. So now here is Lassane dropping back, handing this one off, and immediately brought down. As on the run there was Osmond.
Great job just getting back to the line of scrimmage that time for Osmond. Had to duck a few tackles and got back to the line of scrimmage without losing any yardage.
No gain.
And so no gain on the play. Still 2nd and 15. Ball on the 39-yard line. And the Marian Knights looking to get win number 1 on the 23 season as Lassane ready for the snap. 2nd and 15. Calls for the ball, another handoff play. And this time brought down. That's going to be for a loss as they go right back to the junior and Osmond.
Osmond on the carry.
And so that's going to be a loss of 1 yard on the play. So 3rd and 16 for the Knights. So they're going to need those 16. They're going to need to get well past the 50-yard mark in order to get the first down.
Right now, Henry Martello and that Culver Academy D-line is winning the battle in the trenches.
Yeah, the defensive line, Henry Martello, Charlie Lawson, Joe Maverick, and Nick Fumick are the 4 linemen up front for the Eagles. So now Lassane drops back, looking for the pass, looks deep, has a receiver, but just too far and underneath. He was looking on the play for Jack DeRoll, but too much hair under that one. So an incomplete pass there, and so now the Knights are going to send out the punt team, and it'll be Leo Pinocete, the senior, at just about 39 yards per punt, who will handle the punting duties here tonight. So both teams in their first drive, not off to the start that they had wanted to, as we've played already 3 minutes here in this first quarter. We're still scoreless here from Bob Tolsky Field. Now clock winds down to 5. Knights have got to get something off. 3 seconds left. Knights have got to get this one off in time.
They had to waste a timeout. There was a late Marian Knight getting onto the field. They were waiting on him to get in position. So the Knights choose to use a timeout instead of wasting 5 more yards.
Yeah, so they're going to, and that's not a bad decision. They don't really want to have to use a timeout during that play, but they need to. And so, of course, during these timeouts, I want to thank Troy Gill for the help with first downs and timeouts tonight. Call Troy Gill, your local licensed insurance agent with Health Markets Insurance Agency in Northern Indiana. Choosing the right Medicare plan for you can be confusing. Let Troy help you find a plan that best fits your needs and budgets. Call 574-360-0791 to speak with a licensed insurance agent for a free appointment virtually, by phone, or in person to review your specific needs to help find a plan that's right for you. Call 574-360-0791 today. Health Markets Insurance Agency Incorporated is licensed in all states and D.C. Service and product availability varies. Agents may be compensated based on enrollment. No obligation to enroll. So Sete, after the timeout, ready for the punt. Gets a pretty good kick. Got some forward spin on that. So that one's going to bounce right around the 30. That one picked up by Rodriguez and is able to get around a couple nights, but ultimately go out just short of the 30-yard line.
Tay Rodriguez on the return.
So it was Tay Rodriguez on the return. So we'll flip the card over. And again, now let's look at the Marian defense here. Abraham Lusagna, Caden Lee, Nicholas Klein, and Caleb Johnson. The big boys up front. In the middle is going to be Braden Smith, Jake Murphy, Joseph Boone, and Patrick Darr. And in the back is going to be Harrison Gibbons, Quinn Roan, and Chase Bays for the Marian Knights. So 1st and 10 at the 27-yard line. And so now here is McColgan once again. Takes the snap, looking for the handoff, is going to get this one here to Bratton, and he avoids a couple defenders and is going to he's going to muscle his way forward. Nice job from the 6'2 senior of moving up to the 34-yard line, so give him a gain of 7 on the play. So Culver looking to get their first down here in this game. So now here's CMA. As McColgan drops back, looking for options. Nice blocking up front. The toss downfield wide open for Tay Rodriguez. And breaking up on the tackle there, number 6, Braden Smith. But Tay Rodriguez, Andrew, that's about as wide open as you can get. So the junior making the big play. And that's going to be our first down in the game. And, of course, all the first downs for here tonight brought to you by J-Mill Packaging and the DeRoll family.
55 yards on that play from the 27. 48. Sorry, I went the wrong way. Math is hard.
Math is difficult. So under 8 minutes to play. So now here's McColgan. Looks on the near side. Finds a pass. And a big-time hit as trying to make the play there offensively was Aiden Cartmell. It's not going to go anywhere. Might have even lost a yard. And it looks like they were at the 18-yard line, might have picked up 1 yard, and that's what they're going to give them, a 1-yard gain for Aiden Carmel. So 2nd and 9 here at the 17-yard mark. If Culver decides to go for the field goal, it'll be Teddy Foster, who, just like with Marian, he handles all the kicking duties for the Eagles. So 2nd and 9 with nearly 7 minutes left in the first quarter. Now here's McColgan. He's going to pitch this one back to Rodriguez. Nice tackle. And there's Joseph Boone again making the play. The 5'9 junior at 206 pounds. Nice job of stepping off the line. And so Rodriguez, as Andrew, I'm going to say that's probably a gain of maybe 1. Looks like what they're given.
Looks like it's a no gain on that one.
No gain on the play. 3rd and 9 after the no gain from Rodriguez. Now here's McColgan. Fakes the handoff. Marian almost was able to tackle him there. He's going to work towards the outside. And he's going to step out of bounds. And, Andrew, that looks like that's going to be enough for a Culver first down.
That will be a Culver first down. They wide open lane to the quarterback there. He gave a nice little head shoulders fake and juked out his defender and had the entire side of the field to hit the first down needed.
Ball is spotted at the 6, so give an 11-yard gain on the play.
Ball marked on the 6. It's 1st and goal.
So 6 yards away for CMA to get their first score in this game, and for either side. McColgan now hands this one off to Rodriguez, finds an opening, and lost it. And Marian got on top of it.
Oh, they're going to say he crossed the goal line before.
So they're saying that Culver crossed the goal line, so it's Tay Rodriguez who gets the first score in this game, and it comes through with just a 6-yard punch right up the middle. Andrew, thought we had a little bit of a scare, but like you said, crossed the plane before letting go of the football, so CMA gets the first 6 up on the board.
Yeah, it was a nice little weaving through the traffic right up the middle and just crossed the goal line before he lost it.
So now here's the kicker in Foster. That one is up, and that one is good. So we'll take a quick 30-second timeout. We'll go over this. We'll go over the scoring and the recap, and then we'll get ready for the Culver kickoff. They lead now 7-0 after Tay Rodriguez punches one up the middle. Tanner Camp, Andrew Bowen, Mia McComish, as well as Liz Hoosier back after this quick timeout here on the Regional Radio Sports Network.
Did you know there's a place right here in Mishawaka that provides comfort and care for families of sick or injured children? Ronald McDonald House Charities of Mishawaka gives families everything they need, whether it's a hot shower, a comfortable bed, or a home-cooked meal. This allows parents to truly prioritize the health and well-being of their child. Because of people in this community just like you, RMHC Mishawaka provides their services at zero cost to the families. Find out how you can volunteer or donate to rmhcmishawaka.org.
Welcome you back here to Bob Otolsky Field. It's the Culver Military Academy Eagles who are able to get the first 6 up on the board. As we'll see Teddy Foster there. Andrew Bowen, you got a scoring recap for us?
It is, where'd my sheet go? 6 plays, 73 yards, 239 on the possession ending in a 6-yard run by Tay Rodriguez.
So 6:21 left in the first quarter. And so now the kickoff here, it's going to be picked up by the Knights into... Now goes to the outside, breaks open for an opening, now wide open space. There's going to be no one in front of him. He's going to the 40, to the 30, to the 20, running all the way, and that's going to be a Marian Knights touchdown. William Owens takes this one off the kickoff, and so puts 6 more up on the board. That's how you respond right there. A big-time score from number 10 for the Knights. Andrew, that scoring drive should be pretty easy on that one there.
Nice kickoff return, immediately seizing back the momentum that Culver Academy had for exactly 13 seconds.
So the score now comes just a couple seconds after CMA was able to punch one up the middle. And so now taking the PAT is going to be Lucas Primrose, 0 for 2 in point after touchdowns last week. So let's see if the Knights are able to tie this one up. CMA got to get someone on the field, someone off the field as well. So they snap it. It's up, and it is good. So just like that, in a matter of less than 10 seconds, maybe a little bit of change, the Marian Knights respond quick, and they are now tied up 7-7 here against the Culver Academy Eagles. Let's take another quick timeout, and we'll go over the scoring drive as, again, not going to take very long. Let's take ourselves another 30-second timeout here on the Regional Radio Sports Network.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, wherever the mission takes us, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
So it started at the 20-yard line, and again, it was William Owens, a.k.a. Deuce Owens, who gets the score to tie this one up at 7-7. So, Andrew, it might be long, it might be grueling, but give us the scoring recap.
13 seconds on that kick return. Deuce Owens, 80-yard kickoff return for a touchdown to knot the score up. PAT good, 7-7.
So now we'll see Lucas Primrose again.
Rodriguez deep for the Eagles. Primrose kicking for the Knights.
So now Primrose getting ready for the kickoff. Let's see how the Knights will respond, how also the Eagles will respond. And so this kickoff, this is going to be in a pretty good spot. It's going to be right around the 10-yard line. Picking this one up is going to be for the Eagles. Now opening, but falls, just gets tripped up. Nice tackle, believe on the play.
Harrison Givens.
Was he at the 5 or the 10? 5?
So they're going to say that it was at the 5 where that one was picked up, and it was Rodriguez who picked that one up and took that one at the 40. I tell you what, Andrew, that could have been a real big scare there.
He was a shoelace away from matching Deuce Owens on that.
Wow. So now Culver Academy looking to respond after Marian took that last one to the house. So now here's Michael McColgan, the junior, with the ball. The quick toss here on the near side. Here to Cartmel, and that one is knocked, and he's knocked out of bounds. And Andrew, that's going to be a, let's see if they get one. It's going to be second down on the play as they're going to spot this one at the 32-yard line.
9-yard reception there.
So just 1 yard short of that first down. So once again, reminder that after all first downs, thanks to the friends at J Mill Packaging and the DeRoll family. So now second and 1 on the 32-yard line. Now here's McColgan going to toss this one. Tried to find Fro on the near side, but good one-on-one coverage there.
Fro never turned his head. I think the timing was just a little bit off on that one because Fro never saw it.
And that was Lucas Primrose, the kicker, who made the play. So you're going to see him kicking as well as on the defensive side of things. So 3rd and 1. Boy, this would be a big-time stop. And, Andrew, the question is if it's still 4th and 1 and Marian gets a stop, does CMA go for it, or do they just have to punt that if it gets to 4th down?
At this early, I say you punt.
So now the run up the middle for Rodriguez finds an opening, so he's definitely got the first. And they're going to spot him. Should be at the 38-yard line, so give it a gain of 6 on the play. And that's just a nice job. Rodriguez has been impressive on the ground and just being able to read those blockers up front and find the open holes.
6 carries, 25 yards so far for Rodriguez.
So CMA gets the first down, and they're at the 38-yard line. 5:30 to go here in this first quarter. We're tied up at 7-7. The handoff now here for CMA, and that was Eggebratton. And so Eggebratton on the play. Probably not going to get much gain. In fact, looks like, Andrew, I think he might have even lost a couple yards there. And nope, he's going to get the forward progress, and so he'll be at the 39-yard line, so make it a gain of, I believe, 3 on the play. Gain of 1 on the play. Just like Andrew said, I can math as well. So now here's McColgan. Looks over on the far side. Pass is caught by number 16 on the play, far side. So making the catch there was Foster Stockton, the 6-foot junior. And Andrew, the one really interesting part about this Culver team is that they've got players from all different parts of the United States. They've got players from locally like Plymouth and Culver. Then they have guys like Foster Stockton. He's from Richmond, Virginia. So a lot of players from all different parts of the United States. So now once again, CMA looking for the run up the middle, but bottled up nicely by the Knights. Rodriguez thought he had an opening.
Rodriguez on the carry.
And on the play, the Knights just said, no, you may not.
They were playing for the run and guessed right and swallowed him up in the backfield.
Defense dropped him for a loss of 2. 4th down and 2.
Well, there's the answer to your question. 4th and 2. Culver offense is staying on the field.
So now once again, here is Culver. They look up again to Rodriguez, but another big-time play for Joseph Boone.
Rodriguez on the carry. Joseph Boone brings him down short of the line to gain.
Picked up 1, but not enough for a first down there.
So the Culver Academy Eagles cannot convert on the 4th down play, so back to the Knights it'll go. And this, Andrew, this is going to be a real nice opportunity, hovering even past the 50-yard line.
Yeah, Marian Knights set up very nicely right here. Short field, a lot of momentum. We'll see if they can capitalize on this.
So Bryce Lassane, as the Knights trying to work some offense and get another score up on the board to take their first lead in this game. So now Lassane getting settled in. No receivers on his right. 1 on his left, so it's going to be a quick toss here to Osmond. Osmond goes to the outside, finds an opening, and gets wrapped up by number 1, Aiden Cartmel. And so going to be knocked down right around the 39,
41.
checked at the 41-yard line.
6-yard gain there.
So 2nd and 4, 3:20 left in the first quarter. And so now Bryce Lassane looking for that first down here for the Knights to keep this offensive drive going. 3 minutes left in the first quarter. Now here's Lassane, the handoff here to Osmond. Osmond looking up the middle.
No gain on that one.
And that's what the official's going to say, as you said. So 3rd and 4th. And so with the 3rd and 4th situation, we'll see if the Knights decide to go with a play in the air or on the ground.
Lassane has been fairly quiet. Just one pass attempt for incomplete. Hasn't attempted a rush yet, so we'll see if Lassane chooses to step out here a little bit.
He was 3 for 21 in that game against Mishawaka with 122 yards and the passing touchdown. So now the toss to Osmond. He's got to find a way to get up the middle, and it looks like he's going to stay in bounds. Let's see if it's enough for the first down. And they're going to say, yes, it is. They're going to move the chain. So it's a first down. This Marian Knight first down is brought to you by J-Mill Packaging and the DeRoll family. J-Mill Packaging is celebrating 50 years in business as the area's premier box manufacturing company. The DeRoll family is committed to leading J-Mill Packaging as a world-class organization through innovative solutions and helping people win at J-Mill Packaging. Everyone matters. Let's go, Knight Nation. So a first down situation for Marian with a little more than 2 minutes to go here in the first. They go to Osmond again. Nice job of working his way up the middle. Should get a gain of a couple there.
Looks like spotted at the 38, gain of 3. Osmond getting his work in early today. 6 rushes, only 15 yards to show for it, though. But a big pickup there on the 3rd down.
And it's important still. It's important for this offense. Yes, the kickoff return was still great, but you got to still find a way to get that offense working and get it to improve. So let's see what the Knights can do here. 1:30 left here in the first quarter. We're tied at 7-7. Now here's Bryce Lassane. Going to go with the handoff here to Osmond. Again, nice job working on the right side. Got some open space. Let's see if he can get more. And he is going to be shoved out.
The 12-yard line. 21 on that rush.
And the tackle there made by Trey Schumacher. And that is going to be another Marian Knight first down. And it's brought to you by J-Mill Packaging and the DeRoll family.
Excuse me, math is hard. That's the 11. 12.
So Osmond
I get it.
just takes a couple reps. Takes a couple reps. 1:20 left here in this first quarter. And the Knights are at the 12-yard line, looking to put 6 more up on the board before the end of the first quarter. So now Lassane going to drop back, looking for a pass, looking in the far side in the end zone. Passes up, not caught, no flag on the play. As he was looking for William Owens on the far side, but he could not make the play. Nice man coverage there by Rory Sullivan.
Great coverage that time by the Culver Academy defense. Good look that time by Lassane, just not there at that point.
So clock is stopped at minute 20 at the minute 22 mark. Keep in mind, Marian used 1 timeout. CMA still has all 3. And so the fans for the Marian student section not happy with that one there, as they wanted a flag on the play. So now 5 seconds on the game clock. Lassane going to pitch this one back, but there is a flag on the play. And let's see if it's against the offense. And Andrew, that is going to be it. That is going to be an offensive or false start on the offense.
Legal procedure, likely meaning 2 offensive players that are moving at the same time as they brought him in motion, just couldn't get it the ball hiked in time.
Once again, Marian 7, Culver 7. 14th meeting all-time between the two schools. Marian looking to get their first win on the year. So now here is Bryce Lassane. Next week for the Knights, they're going to be right back here at home as they take on Buff Jesuit. And we'll be here for that one as well. Be sure you check that on our website, rrsn.com. Now here's Osmond. Works back to the left, and it's Rodriguez as well as Henry Martello making the tackle there.
Looks like a gain of 4 there.
So the clock is going to keep ticking. Gain of 4 for 2nd and 11.
Gain of 4.
Check that 3rd and 11 after the penalty.
15 for the Knights.
Andrew, this is a situation where, depending on where you're at, do you go for the PAT? I mean, the reality is the Knights did not attempt a field goal last week.
Kicking game was a struggle for the Knights. I think if you're this close, you got to go for it at this point.
So 40 seconds left. Game clock is at 5. And, Andrew, I think we're going to have a timeout on the play, and that one going to be taken by the Marian Knights.
And I think this is a timeout to set up. They're going for it on 4th down. They got to think through this thing, get some yardage on this thing to make it a manageable 4th down.
Once again, this timeout brought to you by Troy Gill. Call Troy Gill, your local licensed insurance agent with Health Markets Insurance Agency in Northern Indiana. Choose the right Medicare plan for you. Can be confusing. Let Troy help you find a plan that best fits your needs and budget. Call 574-360-0791 to speak with a licensed insurance agent for free appointment virtually, by phone, or in person to review your specific needs and help find a plan that's right for you. Call 574-360-0791 today. Health Markets Insurance Agency Incorporated is licensed in all states and D.C. Service and product availability varies. Agents may be compensated based on enrollment. No obligation to enroll. Once again, timeouts and touchdowns here for tonight's game brought to you by Troy Gill with Health Markets Insurance Agency. 39 seconds left in the first quarter. We're tied at 7 between the Culver Academy Eagles and the Marian Knights.
As play resumes, 3rd down and 11 for the Knights. Ball marked on the 13-yard line.
So now Bryce Lassane, the 6'1 senior, at the controls here for the Knights at the 13-yard line with 39 seconds left. So now Lassane drops back, looking for a pass, looks on the near side, has someone open, it's caught, and it was dropped at the last second.
Incomplete, yep.
So they're going to say that it was an incomplete pass. They were looking on the near side to jack to roll, and it was dropped. And Andrew, reality is I think at one point the Eagles thought it was going to be a fumble as well.
And I think that's the Calvin Johnson Megatron complete the process of the catch right there, because he looked like he had it the last second before bringing it into his chest. Like the defender was able to knock it away. So just unfortunate result, because there was a touchdown there if he could have held on to it.
So now Marian, they're going to go with a field goal here, as taking this one will be Lucas Primrose. So now this one, it's lost, and they've lost it. So now Primrose got to find something here, and he is going to be brought down. And it's going to go all the way back well past the 30. And making the tackle there was number 3, Kyle Egebratton. And, Andrew, that is about the last thing that you would have wanted to see if had happened. If anything, Primrose should have just thrown that one away to keep it where it's at.
They gave him the forward progress, so it's not going to be all the way back where it was tackled up. But, yeah, but unfortunate results. They were looking for to get some points on the board there.
So we're going to stay at 7-7 with 28 and a half seconds left in this first quarter. And so the Culver Academy Eagles, they're going to get this one to start at the 22-yard line. So flip the card over, and it'll be Michael McColgan, the junior, who will be in control here for this quarter. He's got a running back in Rodriguez on his right. He's going to look for the pass. Works towards the far side. Going to tuck this one in and carry it. Works over on the far side and eventually almost pushed out of bounds there by number 25 and Nicholas Quiet.
McColgan on the carry.
So McColgan will get the rush there.
Gain of 8 for him there.
So it'll be an 8-yard gain for McColgan. Steps out, so clock stops at 21 seconds. So now the Eagles will line up at their own 30-yard line. Virtually no sun on the field other than right up the middle on the right side of the screen. Again, Culver going from right to left. And Marian going from left to right. Now here's McColgan. Looks quickly here. For an interception, and it is caught. An interception. McColgan was looking near side for Aiden Froh.
Chase Bays on the interception.
And it was Chase Bays who made the catch. I tell you what, for Bays, it was just about, he saw that one coming from a mile away. All he had to do was step in front.
Had his eyes on the quarterback the whole time, was reading it, and stepped right in. Diving catch, got the interception.
So just when it seemed like CMA was going to have a chance to have a long drive here going into the second, it's actually the Marian Knights now in a really nice spot here at the 33-yard line with 18 seconds left, probably about the longest 22 seconds that we've had here, Andrew.
Yes. That was a 10-second drive for Culver Academy, so we'll finish up the 18 seconds with Marian possession.
And the Knights have averaged 108 yards on the ground, 22 in the air for a total of 230 from last week. So now here is Lassane. 3 receivers on his left. That's where he's going to go to. Looking deep. He's got a man. It's up in the air, and it is caught by William Owens on the far side. You knew that's where he was going, and it's William Owens making the catch. So give them the first down, and that first down, of course, brought to you by J-Mill Packaging and the Durrell family. So clock is going to... They're going to say the clock needs to keep moving, so 10 seconds left.
26-yard, 25 officially.
It's not the 7-yard line. 5 seconds left. Clock continues to tick. And so that one, the Knights are just going to let this one go out. Clock officially hits 0, and that is going to be it for our first quarter. And at the end of 1, our first 12 minutes gone for this home opener, and it's tied up at Culver Military Academy 7. Mishawaka Marian 7, but they're knocking at the door and looking to take the lead. Tanner Camp, Andrew Bowen, Mia McComish, and Liz Hoosier handling all the details. We'll be back after this quick timeout here on the Regional Radio Sports Network from Mishawaka Marian High School Football.
Did you know there's a place right here in Michiana that provides comfort and care for families of sick or injured children? Ronald McDonald House Charities of Michiana gives families everything they need, whether it's a hot shower, a comfortable bed, or a home-cooked meal. This allows parents to truly prioritize the health and well-being of their child. Because of people in this community just like you, RMHC Michiana provides their services at 0 cost to the families. Find out how you can volunteer or donate to rmhcmichiana.org.
There's always a moment of truth where it's either put up or shut up. We were yelling our hearts out. Even in our weakness, even in our pain, we continued to push. I don't know where the pain went to, but all I know is that I had what it took. I am a United States Marine.
PFC Darrell Willis serves his country as a Marine. Will you? Visit Marines.com or call 1-800-MARINES.
7-7 is our score. Here from Bob Olgolski Field, Tanner Camp, Andrew Bowen. Thanks to Liz Hoosier and Mia McComish for all the details upstairs and taking care of business. At the 7-yard line, Mishawaka Marian, they're knocking at the door. They just need 7 yards to take their first lead here in this game. And we'll recap the first quarter pending on after this drive here. So now here is Lassane. Going from right to left now. Lassane tosses this one right back here to Brooks. Brooks on the outside, cuts back towards the middle, looking to get in the end zone, and they're going to say he's in for 6. Number 3, Braxton Brooks for 7 yards on the play. And it's the Marian Knights who now take a 13-7 lead. And thanks to the great defense, all that leading back to the interception for the Knights, and it all adds up to 6 more points on the board. So now taking the point after touchdown is going to be Lucas Primrose. Hit one earlier, looking to hit another one here today. It's snapped, it's placed, it's up, and it is good. So just like that, just 5 seconds into this quarter, and now it's the Mishawaka Marian Knights who lead 14-7 over the Culver Academy Eagles. We'll be back after this quick timeout to get ready for another kickoff here on the Regional Radio Sports Network. And now while we do that, let's actually go ahead and take this opportunity to thank the folks over at Centier Bank. And actually, let's go ahead and thank McDonald Physical Therapy. Tonight's game being sponsored by McDonald Physical Therapy and Sports Rehabilitation Center, located at 1005 North Hickory Road in South Bend for 34 years. McDonald Physical Therapy and Sports Rehabilitation Center has been helping Michiana get stronger every day. Their phone number is 574-233-5754, and their website is mcdonaldpt.com. And also thank the folks at Centier Bank at the next available opportunity. Well, Andrew, again, a drive that led right near the end of that first quarter thanks to the interception, and then all the Marian Knights had to do, punch it home, and in the end, it was number 7, On the play, it was, as we get the name here, it was
Braxton Brooks on the 7-yard touchdown run. Marion's defense, special team stepping up, defense setting up the offense with a short field again, 33-yard. 2 plays set up or finished on the 7-yard touchdown run by Braxton Brooks. PAT good. 14-7. Marian Knights 11:55 in this second quarter.
So we'll see Primrose once again on the kickoff. So now he'll kick this one from right to left. So now we'll see how Culver is going to respond to that after having a good opportunity, but then giving up the interception. So that one is driven all the way back, and picking that one up will be Tay Rodriguez. Rodriguez now goes off a couple blockers, ultimately tackled by the Knights, and making the play was number 21, Brian Osman. We'll get the next opportunity. We'll get you a couple score updates from around the state from our games on the Regional Radio Sports Network, as well as from the local area when time permits. So now Michael McColgan getting ready to set this offense up. He's got Tay Rodriguez behind him. 2 receivers on the far side, 1 on the near side. And so now McColgan calls for the pass. Marian putting a lot of pressure on him. He's scrambling, has to find something, breaks it for a moment. The quick toss, and Rodriguez, let's see what the official says. They're going to say he did not catch that.
They're going to say incomplete. That's fortunate for Culver County.
I agree.
If they would have given the catch, that would have been a minus 6-yard result there. So they're lucky they gave him the incomplete pass there.
Couple updates here. Over at Penn High School between the Kingsmen and the Mishawaka Cavemen at halftime. It's the Penn Kingsmen up 14-7 in the backyard brawl. First time since 2019 that the game has been played, so I'm sure it is a full house over at Freed Fields. Now McColgan looks to the far side. That one caught by the Eagles. And making the play there was Cartmel. So that one will get positive yardage. But it looks like the Eagles are still going to need probably about 4 yards as they're at their own 36, or at the 36. Other score updates as Northridge up on Elkhart 21-14 in the second quarter. So now third down situation is Triton and LaVille in the second quarter, tied up at 7. So now let's see how this Marian defense going to respond. Keep in mind they beat CMA last season by a score of 21-3. Under 11 minutes to go in this second quarter before we head to halftime. So now here's McColgan on the fake, and a play could be made, and it is not brought down. McColgan was able to stay on his feet, going to stay up, and he is going to get the first down and some more. Caleb Johnson was about an inch away from McColgan's knee being down. So, Andrew, what could have been a big-time sack or tackle for loss there ends up being a first down well past the 50.
An 18-yard gain. McColgan just stuck out his arm. He was spinning around. McColgan stuck out his arm, stayed on his feet, and was able to spin out of it.
Yeah, give props to the junior. He did a nice job of staying on his feet. So once that knee comes down, he's out. But good golly, Miss Molly, that was a real nice play. So now Rodriguez goes off the block, now looking up the left, still on his feet. And finally going to be brought down. That play started at the 46-yard line, and he's going to be tackled, looks like they're going to say at the 32-yard line, so give it a 14-yard gain there. So Tay Rodriguez, and again, he's been real impressive there in Culver's last game. 14 carries, 50 yards, and for 2 scores. So he's a guy that can get big yardage, or he can just make the simple plays to just pick up 6. So 14-7, Culver leads as now McColgan's going to pitch this one back here to Rodriguez. But making the play, nice job on the initial tackle. As on the initial play there for the Knights was number 3, Braxton Brooks. He got the first wraparound for Rodriguez, and that slowed him down.
A negative 5-yard run on that one.
Worked that pitch over on the near side. So Michael McColgan from Cincinnati, Ohio, And a 2nd and 15 situation here for CMA on the 37. He's got Rodriguez to his left and looking to his left as well. But Marian, swarm of Knights coming around. They're going to tuck this one and hold on to that one. He breaks 2 tackles, but a nice hit from behind made by number 61, Nicholas Klein, the 6'1", 204-pound senior.
Nicholas Klein on the stop.
And a nice job of Klein just wrapping around and not letting McColgan break free on that one. So 9 minutes to go in the second quarter. Marian leads 14-7 in a 3rd and 13 situation. This would be a deep kick if they want to try to go for Teddy Foster. Well, my guess is, based on the situation, Andrew, even if it's 4th, I'd say Culver's probably just going to go for it. But here we go. McColgan now drops back, looking for his options, flicks on the near side. Has got a wide open player in Cartmel, and 2 Knights bring him down at around the 25-yard line. So it'll be a gain of 10.
To Cartmel.
So it should be a 4th and 3rd situation. And Andrew, again, as I mentioned, in a moment like this, you got to think that for Andy Dorrell, his team, they got to go for it here.
Well, and that 10-yard pickup right there makes it a lot easier decision as well. Instead of 4th and 14, you're looking at 4th and 4.
So let's take a look. So Culver Academy, they're going to go for it. They're 0 for 1 on 4th down conversions in this game. He does have 2 receivers on the left. And now McColgan finds an opening up the middle, and he's going to get that. It's got open space, and the Knights able to make a tackle that prevents a touchdown.
18-yard.
And McColgan in that one, he looked up for a moment, but Andrew, the second he looked down and realized there was an opening, he just tucked that one. The reality is Culver just needed 4, and instead they're going to get a gain
of 17.
About 17 on the play, so nice play from McColgan.
Nobody in the middle of the field that time for the Marian defense.
Marian needs to get a stop. Culver Academy 9 yards away from potentially tying this game up. So now McColgan got Rodriguez to his left, looks to the right, tucks this one down again, but brought down by number 4, Quinn Ron.
McColgan on the carry.
Check that, Quinn Roan on the play, so he makes the tackle.
Gain of 6 that time.
And so Culver Academy 3 yards away from potentially tying this one up here. So you've got Fro as well as Cartmel on the left. And you've got Gray on the right. Check that, you got Schumacher. So now here's McColgan trying to go up the middle. Ooh, that was a monster hit there by the Marian Knights. And making the initial hit was Nicholas Klein. Whew, big hit right there, Andrew.
Big hit right there. Meeting him at the goal lines, pushing him back. It'll be right at the 1 yard line, but that was a nice little pop that time.
So you got to think for CMA, they're going to have 2 receivers on the left again and 1 on the right. Watch Rodriguez as he's just behind McColgan on the play. So let's see how they play. It's McColgan now looking up the middle, and he's going to just cross the goal line, and that's going to be a score for 6 as it's Michael McColgan with a 1 yard rush. And just like that, 6 more for CMA, and pending on the PAT, this one will be tied at 14. So taking the point after touchdown will be Teddy Foster coming into today's game. He was 3 for 3 from there. And the holder for him going to be number 4, Rory Sullivan. Foster now with the left foot. It's up, and that one is going to squeak through, and that's going to be good. So it's a little more than 6 minutes to go in the second quarter. We are tied up at 14 apiece. Tanner Camp, Andrew Bowen, Mia McComish, as well as Liz Hoosier. We'll be back after this quick 30-second timeout. We're tied at 14 apiece here from Marian High School in Mishawaka, Indiana. We'll be back after this quick timeout here on the Regional Radio Sports Network.
Did you know there's a place right here in Michiana that provides comfort and care for families of sick or injured children? Ronald McDonald House Charities of Michiana gives families everything they need, whether it's a hot shower, a comfortable bed, or a home-cooked meal. This allows parents to truly prioritize the health and well-being of their child. Because of people in this community just like you, RMHC Michiana provides their services at zero cost to the families. Find out how you can volunteer or donate to rmhcmichiana.org.
Tanner Camp here, and we'll go things over to Andrew Bowen after to recap that last scoring drive for Culver Academy to tie this one up at 14.
11 plays, 70 yards, 5 minutes 43 seconds on the possession, capped off by the 1-yard TD run by McColgan. 14-14 here, midway through the second quarter.
So now taking the kick will be Teddy Foster here for the kickoff. Again, averages about 47 yards per kickoff. And back to return, Braxton Brooks, Quinn Roan, as well as William Owens. So with the left foot, low line drive, takes an awkward bounce, and that one picked up for the Knights. Working up towards the middle, but brought down hard, as picking up that one was William, a.k.a. Deuce Owens. So possession's going to start for the Knights. Looks like they're going to spot this one at the 23-yard line. So 6:02 left. Andrew, when you talk about, when I remember that drive from watching the Marian Mishawaka game, a long drive here that just eats the clock and potentially puts 6 more up on the board. That's going to be that's going to make a big difference here as we get ready for halftime.
Right now, Culver Academy dominating the time of possession. I think it's well over 12 minutes to 5 minutes at this point. And Culver Academy has run 29 plays on offense compared to 13 for Marian.
Wow. So now we'll flip the card, and now it's Bryce Lassane again with the duties. Got all the receivers on the near side here, and it's going to be a handoff here to Osmond. Osmond trying to go to the right, breaks off a couple defenders, and is going to be brought down at the 30-yard line. Should be a pickup of 7. And nice job from the 5'4", 145-pound junior of breaking a couple tackles.
Look,
and
in these blue uniforms here, these gray helmets, he's got a number in the 20s. Looking a little bit like Barry Sanders on that move, kind of shimmying out of some tackles there.
He's able to wiggle his way out of some as he steps off the field. He took off his helmet for a minute, so we'll check to make sure that he's okay. So now 2nd and 3 at the 30-yard line for the Knights. Nearly 5:30 left in this second quarter. Now Bryce Lassane with the football. Tosses this one back to Brooks, and Brooks stays on his feet, but going to be brought down by a flock of Eagles. And so they're going to immediately get Osmond in.
It's a loss of 1 that time for Brooks. The Academy defense was just swarming right to it. No chance for Brooks to get it back to the line of scrimmage.
So 3rd and 4 here in the second quarter. Keep in mind, Marian has just 1 timeout remaining in the half. CMA yet to use one at any point in this game. And we had a little bit of sun early on, but that has pretty much gone away now at this point, as mostly cloud cover in the sky. So now here is Lassane. Fakes the pitch, now looking up ahead, tosses it, and it's caught by number 16 in Lupino Septe. And what a play. Fake to the pitch to Osmond. And so Sete going to make the big play. Again, the ball was at the 29-yard line, and it's going to go from left to right, and they're going to spot this one at the 39-yard line.
32-yard gain that time. Threw a dart to his receiver. Beautiful play.
So what a play right there from senior to senior in Lassane and Sete. Sete had 4 receptions for 39 yards in the loss against Mishawaka last week. So with nearly 4 minutes to go in this quarter, a big-time 3rd down conversion for the Knights. So now they're going to go back to Osmond. Osmond working up the middle. Looks like he might have picked up a yard, maybe 2 on the play, depending on the forward progress.
Osmond on the carry.
Gain 1.
So Brian Osmond picks up a gain of 1 with under 4 minutes to go here in this second quarter. Again, the Knights, they can just be patient because at this point, Andrew, just getting points on the board before heading into halftime would be a big-time win, whether it's 6, whether it's 3. So we'll see how Marian plays this.
They'll receive the second half kickoff, so a chance to double up.
Absolutely. Here. Let's see how Mike Davidson's squad wants to play this. Now here is Lassane. Pitches this one back here to Brooks. Gets a little bit of space.
Oh, he lost the ball.
But he lost the football.
Recovered by Culver Academy.
And it's going to be recovered by Culver.
Fumble on the play.
So a fumble for Braxton Brooks. And they're going to spot this one, I believe, at the 31-yard line. So just when it looked like Marian was going to be able to take a lead going into the break, now CMA has a chance to do the same thing. But keep in mind, last time we said that there was an interception, Marian was able to respond. And this defense, despite giving up with the 14, the defense has still made some big-time plays. Again, that interception being a big one. So 3:23 left to go in the second. We're tied at 14. Culver Academy with the football, and now here comes Michael McColgan. He's got Rodriguez on his left, two receivers on the far side, one on the near side. They're going to go back to Rodriguez, finds a hole up the middle, and ultimately brought down by Braden Smith.
Rodriguez on the carry.
So at the 31, they're going to spot him at the 36, so a 5-yard play pickup for Rodriguez. It'll be interesting to see what his halftime numbers are. He's done a nice job at finding those open holes and being able to pick up a couple extra yards. So now here's McColgan again. 3 minutes left in the quarter. So now McColgan, the quick throw over on the far side to Cartmel. Cartmel now breaks one tackle and is going to step out of bounds.
McColgan to Cartmel for the first down.
Gain a 6 on that one.
So on the tackle there, they're going to get that one to Patrick Dare. Patrick Dare, excuse me. Apologies for that. So under 3 on the play. So first down here for CMA. Now here's McColgan, drops back, has pressure coming, and it's wrapped down and brought down. Give credit to that one for the big fella, number 84, Caleb Johnson, the 6'2", 210-pound junior. He did a nice job once he got a hold of McColgan, just hung on for dear life, and once he went down, big play, and Andrew, looks like we're going to have our first timeout for the Eagles. And they're going to take this one at the 2:36 mark here in the second quarter. And while we've got that, have you checked out Centier Bank's student checking account? This no-fee checking account is perfect for students and teens ages 14 to 24 and comes with all the features you need to succeed, such as a debit card, digital banking, and automatic deposit. Centier Bank can help you start establishing good spending habits today for your better tomorrow. For more information, visit Centier.com/student-checking or visit your local branch. If you are under the age of 18, your parent or legal guardian must also sign with the Centier student checking account. At the age of 25, your account will automatically convert to the Centier checking account. You must deposit $25 to open this account. This account is not eligible for overdraft advantage. Member FDIC. So CMA now at the 2:36 mark, they take their first timeout in this quarter, and they'll start this next play at the 37-yard line. We'll have one of our officials talk to Mike Davidson as he waves up here to us. And so now it looks like they're going to put the clock now. Instead of at 2:36, it's going to be at 2:44. So they're going to add a couple seconds on the play, or on the game clock. Once again, glad you could join us here from Bob Otolsky Field. We'll be back here next week as the Knights take on the Brebeuf Jesuit, and the quick toss to Rodriguez up ahead. Definitely going to get enough on the play. Now he's got an opening on the near side, and he's going to get the first, and he's going to end up out of bounds.
Rodriguez on the reception.
And on the play there, on the wrap-up, number 5, Lucas Barr. So, Andrew, the reality is not only do the Eagles get the first down, they also get the clock to stop.
Yeah, great job of clock awareness and getting out of bounds, saving that time. 2 minutes 33 seconds, 41 yards to go.
We started at the 37, now up at the 49. Checked out the 41-yard line. So with 2:33 left. Now Culver Academy, again, two receivers on the far side as McColgan hands this one off here to Eggbratton. And so brought down on the play by the Knights. And they'll get this one now with after the 3-yard gain from the 6'2 senior. So clock keeps ticking. A little more than 2 minutes to go in the second quarter. Again, as Andrew mentioned, Marian will receive in the second to start the second half. So let's see how the defense responds. McColgan, he's in trouble. Get wrapped up, and two Knights say, no, you may not. They bring down the bird there. And a great defensive effort by the plays there. And it's number 25, Nicholas Quiet, who makes the big-time play. Andrew, if there's any way to get a defense fired up, it's plays like that to bring McColgan down.
And that is a 12-yard loss. Not only is it a sack, it puts them back right at midfield after making such great progress. So big-time boost to the Marian defense there.
So at the 50 with under a minute 30 here in the second quarter, McColgan now looking for options. Looks up and towards the middle. Caught by Cartmel, excuse me. And so that's going to be a catch there. And they're going to say that it is short from a first down.
Or a 16-yard reception.
Timeout taken by the Eagles.
And so a timeout is going to be taken by Culver Military Academy. So they've used 2 timeouts here during this drive in the second quarter. And while we've got the opportunity, we want to thank our friends again at McDonald Physical Therapy. Tonight's game is being sponsored by McDonald Physical Therapy and Sports Rehabilitation Center, located at 1005 North Hickory Road in South Bend for 34 years. McDonald Physical Therapy and Sports Rehabilitation Center has been helping Mishawaka get stronger every day. Their phone number is 574-233-5754, and their website is mcdonaldpt.com. Once again, also want to thank our friends at Beef O'Brady's. Beef O'Brady's in Granger now features tacos on Tuesday. Enjoy 2 tacos, your choice of chicken, steak, or fish with chips and salsa for just $7.99. Located at State Road 23 and Bittersweet Road. Beef's is open for lunch at 11 a.m. 7 days a week. For more information, the website is www.beefobradys.com or call 574-271-1415. Beef O'Brady's, good food, good sports. So minute 17 left in the second quarter. Once again, glad you could join us here from Bob Tolsky Field here on the campus of Marian High School in Mishawaka, Indiana for some Friday Night Lights, week 2 in the regular season. Tanner Camp, Andrew Bowen, Liz Hoosier, and Mia McComish handling all the details upstairs. Appreciate those two. Again, want to welcome Mia McComish, the newest intern, captain for the Concord Minutemen soccer team. Welcome her onto the broadcast. So now here is McColgan, the quick toss over on the far side, but not going to go anywhere there for Cartmel as he is brought down immediately. And keep in mind, that was a 4th down on the play, so a big-time stop for the Marian Knights. Andrew, what a play. That is the defense stepping up despite whatever happens the rest of this quarter, as long as Marian doesn't turn it over, to keep this one tied and not let the Eagles put points on the board. Big-time play for the defense.
Yeah, big-time play. Again, we've seen it throughout this first half. The Marian defense, Marian special teams really stepping up and providing the momentum and providing the energy. Let's see if the offense can kind of get some synergy going, get some momentum going, get things together here. They've only had 18 total plays compared to 37 for Culver Academy. So not a whole lot of time on the field, so we'll see what they can get going.
Even just 3 points, but most importantly, just to keep CMA away from the ball. So this play will start at the 33-yard line. Let's see what Lassane can do to get this offense going here for the Knights. Can they put 6 more up on the board? Clock is at 10. So now Lassane drops back, looking for options, looks toward the near side. Here to Sete. And Sete going to step out of bounds, so he'll gain a couple on the play. So he steps out of bounds, so clock stops at 1:07. And they're going to get this one at the 37-yard. Yep, so a 4-yard gain. So Andrew, looks like that pass was just to initially stop the clock. So let's see how they play this. He's got Osmond on his left for Lassane and 3 receivers on the right, 1 to the left. So now Lassane looks for his options. The quick toss here to Owens on the near side. And brought down immediately by number 16. That's Foster Stockton for the Eagles. And they're going to say that the Knights, they did step out, so clock stops at 1:02. And so this will be at the 40, so a 3-yard gain in this 3rd down situation. So under a minute to go. So it's a gain of 4. 3rd down and 3 for the Knights. Now Lassane hands this one off to Osmond. gets this one up well past the 45-yard line, so definitely enough for the first down on the play, and it looks like he got all the way up to about the 46-yard line. Keep in mind, Marian does have one more timeout if they choose to use it, so they're going to run this offense quick. So now Lassane, quick toss, looks to the far side, caught. And that one, a catch on there is going to be made by number 3, Braxton Brooks. And so timeout's going to be taken by the Knights with 37 seconds left. So that's going to be the last timeout taken here in this half for the Knights. Of course, after that first down, of course, all our first downs here in this game. The first down is for the Knights are brought to you by J-Mill Packaging and the DeRoll family. J-Mill Packaging is celebrating 50 years in business as the area's premier box manufacturing company. The DeRoll family is committed to leading J-Mill Packaging solutions and helping people win. At J-Mill Packaging, everybody matters. Let's go, Knights Nation. So with 37 seconds left, no more timeouts, and that's the number one thing that Coach Davidson is letting the players know. We do not have any more timeouts. It'll be interesting to see. Andrew, what do you think the Knights will do? Are they going to try to just chuck it down the field, or do you think, wouldn't be bad at the bare minimum just to not let CMA get any chance for any more offense?
Well, after 3 straight incompletions to start the game, Bryce Lassane is now 5 for 5 for 63 yards. So he's heating up a little bit. He's been throwing some darts, so we may see them go down the field a little bit here.
2nd and 7 here at the 49-yard line. Let's see what the Knights can do here as Bryce Lassane, the senior quarterback, looking for his options. Thought about tucking this one in. Throws a deep one. It's open, and it's going to be caught by number 3, Braxton Brooks, and he's going to get all the way down to the 5-yard line. Big-time players make big-time plays, and Braxton Brooks, the junior, now at the 5-yard line. They're actually going to say it's at the 5-yard line.
44-yard reception, passing reception. We're going to get a timeout by Culver Academy there. That little head shoulder fake, little pass fake there, and freed Braxton Brooks down wide open down the middle of the field. Put it on the money.
Once again, that first down for the Marian Knights, brought to you by J-Mill Packaging and the DeRoll family. I tell you what, when the offense needs to make a big-time play, and when you see the passing yardage situation, nice job for the senior quarterback of making the play that he needed to. A nice job of Brooks of tucking that one and just going forward. And nice job of CMA of the very minimum making the tackle for a touchdown-saving play.
This would be a huge momentum shift here if Marian can get any kind of points here. Their defense is playing very well today, getting stops when they need it. Marian will get the ball right back, so they've got some energy going. So momentum going on the offensive side, they're going to get the ball right back at the second half, so they can get some points on the board here. It's going to be big.
Don't forget at halftime, Paul Condre had a chance to interview Mike Keklinski, the legendary coach here from Mishawaka Marian, as part of the head coach during the 3 state title championships for the Marian Knights. And he'd be happy to see Bryce Lassane has had a really nice drive here, including that big-time throw. With 30 seconds left, Marian has an opportunity to go up a score here at their own 5-yard line. Now, with the ball, the quick toss, he lobs this one up, and it is caught in the end zone.
Oh, is this going to be another?
Let's see what they say.
Touchdown.
And they're going to say it's a touchdown, a big-time catch. Nice toss from Bryce Lassane, and that one's going to be caught by number 10, William Owens, and this crowd loves it here. It's going wild here at Bob Otulski Field. Oh, boy, Andrew, that could have been a really risky play. CMA thought they had something, but William Owens, what a grab. Used every bit of his 6-foot body that he could have.
Yes, really, really great play. Going up and get it, high point the ball, bringing it down long enough to have possession for the touchdown.
So now Lucas Primrose on the point after touchdown. It's up. Is it through? Yes, it is. 21-14, the Knights take a 7-point lead with 27 seconds left in the quarter. We'll have our potential final kickoff here in the half. Tanner Camp, Andrew Bowen, Liz Hoosier, and Mia McComish here from Bob Otulski Field here in Mishawaka. Back after this quick 30-second timeout here on the Regional Radio Sports Network.
Did you know there's a place right here in Michiana that provides comfort and care for families of sick or injured children? Ronald McDonald House Charities of Michiana gives families everything they need, whether it's a hot shower, a comfortable bed, or a home-cooked meal. This allows parents to truly prioritize the health and well-being of their child. Because of people in this community just like you, RMHC Michiana provides their services at zero cost to the families. Find out how you can volunteer or donate to rmhcmichiana.org.
There's always a
Tanner Camp and Andrew Bowen. Let's recap that last scoring drive. And once again, we want to thank that touchdown on the play brought to you by Troy Gill. Andrew, take it away.
6 plays, 67 total yards. It is a 46-second drive, ending with the 5-yard reception. Lassane to Owens, PAT good, 21-14. Nearly halftime here.
Once again, all touchdowns and timeouts for the Marian Knights, brought to you by Troy Gill with Health Markets Insurance Agency. Call Troy with all your life, health, and Medicare needs at 574-360-0791. Again, that's 574-360-0791. Make sure you write that down for Troy Gill. So it's going to be number 22, Lucas Primrose, with 27 seconds left after the big-time catch from William Owens. The Knights are going to look to try to continue to make big defensive plays. Let's see how the Eagles want to play this, if they want to try to put 6 more on the board. But this Marian defense has been doing a nice job here tonight of preventing big plays. Now Primrose, they're going to keep this one low and on the ground.
Flags on the play.
And Andrew, we're going to have a flag on the play. And it comes from the far side, just be between the 40 and the 35-yard mark.
Going to be, looks like another penalty on Marian. Maybe a little offsides, getting a little bit of a running start before the ball was kicked.
And that's exactly what it's going to be. And Andrew, based off what I'm thinking off the top of my head, I don't believe Culver Academy has had one penalty. Was for Mishawaka Marian. I believe they've had, I think that was their third.
3 penalties, 15 yards for Marian, all illegal procedure calls. No penalties, clean game so far for Culver Academy.
So now Lucas Primrose is going to tee this one up at the 35-yard line. And at this point, let's see if he keeps this one low and near the ground. He's going to really try to put a boot behind this one. So he's got to drive through this one. This one's up, got a lot of spin on it. Going to be caught right around the 21-yard line. Picked up by Rodriguez and stopped and on the ground. And this will, however, let's see if they give it. It's either the 31 or the 32, and they're going to say it's at the 31-yard line. So 21 seconds left for the Culver Academy Eagles to see if they can put any points up on the board.
Ball marked at the 32-yard line.
So they're going to say it's at the 32-yard line. And so now Michael McColgan for the Eagles. Let's see what offense they are going to want to run. So Tay Rodriguez right behind him. 2 receivers on the right, 1 on the left. McColgan now looking deep. He's going to have to tuck this one and run. Got a little bit of space. Going to slide on that one. So the clock is going to keep ticking. I don't believe. And because, let's see.
12-yard run, so it's going to be a first down.
So it'll be a first down. So clock stops. So this one's going to be spotted at the 49-yard mark. So clock is going to keep ticking. 10 seconds left. So Culver, if they're going to get a play out, this will probably be the final play they have unless they decide to spike it. So 3 seconds left. McColgan now got to get something off, and instead they're just going to let the clock roll out. So we have played 2 quarters of Indiana high school football here in Mishawaka, and it's the Marian Knights who lead 21-14 against the Culver Academy Eagles. We're going to take a quick timeout, and when we come back, Paul Condrey had the chance to talk with legendary Mishawaka Marian coach Mike Heklinski about looking back and looking on the night and looking back at that 1973 state championship team as they celebrate 50 years since the Knights brought home the coveted state title. Tanner Camp, Andrew Bowen, Mia McComish, and Liz Hoosier. Appreciate the crew hanging out here at Bob Tolsky Field, here, home of the Marian Knights. We'll be back after this quick timeout with our halftime interview that Paul Condrey had with Mike Heklinski back after this timeout here on the Regional Radio Sports Network.
Did you know there's a place right here in Michiana that provides comfort and care for families of sick or injured children? Ronald McDonald House Charities of Michiana gives families everything they need, whether it's a hot shower, a comfortable bed, or a home-cooked meal. This allows parents to truly prioritize the health and well-being of their child. Because of people in this community just like you, RMHC Michiana provides their services at zero cost to the families. Find out how you can volunteer or donate to rmhcmichiana.org.
There's always a moment of truth where it's either put up or shut up. We were yelling our hearts out. Even in our weakness, even in our pain, we continued to push. I don't know where the pain went to, but all I know is that I had what it took. I am a United States Marine.
PFC Darrell Willis serves his country as a Marine. Will you? Visit Marines.com or call 1-800-MARINES.
They came from every corner of the country, from small towns and big cities. But they all shared one thing in common. They belonged to a family called Marines. A tough and determined few dedicated to protecting everything we hold sacred. And still, they come. Celebrate the history of those proud few who have earned the title Marine.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, wherever the mission takes us, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Welcome back here at the half. Thanks for joining us. Paul Condry, the publisher of the Indiana Football Digest and the president and founder of the Regional Radio Sports Network, here with you here today from Tulski Field. Tanner Camp, Andrew Bowen, and the great team working on this great Marian CMA game, and privileged and honored to be joined by one of the greatest football coaches, and I can say that with all sincerity because he's won 87% of the football games that he coached. 3-time state champion at Marian High School. Mike Hicklinski. Coach Heck, first of all, I want you to take me back, take that trip down Amnesia Lane with me, man, and think back on some of those special moments. What was special about the time you were at Marian?
Well, the time that we were at Marian, you have to understand, we followed Bob Otulski there. And quite frankly, we got the job and we said, hey, how do we improve upon what the heck that you did over there? And lo and behold, Paul, the first year that we were there, before the season even started, the state of Indiana incorporated the playoff system. So you could go into the playoffs and win a state championship without being voted by the radio, the newspapers, et cetera, et cetera. You could win it on the field. And that was the big plus. And so what I remember about that is that the students and the athletes that we had at that particular point in time were rejuvenated and refreshed because of the playoff system. So it was just a matter of great timing for us, buddy.
When you think back on it, and I'm just going to share this with our listening audience, in 73, won it all, went 10-2, 74, 7-3, and 75, a perfect 11-0 season, 76, a perfect 12-0 season, and then, of course, in 77, your final campaign, 8-2. I mean, Mike, honestly, percentage-wise, you changed the culture there. What was it all about?
It was all about the kids, first of all. We had some great kids, some excellent athletes, and a real good coaching staff that stayed with us throughout the years. And so it was all about the people, quite frankly. Marian was a great place to be. I'm sure it's a great place to be at the time now. But back then, it was just a wonderful environment to bring your kid into and put him into a sports program, him or her into a sports program. And it was all about the people, Paul, to be quite honest with you.
Let's talk about some of those great people, those coaches that you work side by side with. One of my all-time favorite people, Dave Reisner, and you guys go a long way back. And, of course, Dave and you guys had a chance to coach together, it's my understanding, and that friendship still remains very strong.
Well, yeah, Dave is probably my best friend. And as a matter of fact, I'm sorry that I can't be there this weekend to honor the 1973 team. But I have two grandchildren, Paul. I'm just going to segue onto this a little bit. I have two grandchildren, grandkids that are in high school. One's a senior in Atlanta, and the other one is a junior in Phoenix, Arizona. And so Friday night for us is grandkid football night. So we get and believe it or not, because of NFHS, you know the app, we get to watch them on TV if we're not there in person. So it's a wonderful thing. But Dave Reisner, Ben Krasiak, and John Ferretti are going to represent us very well Friday night. So The coaching staff, like I said, Bill Reisner is my best friend. We still see Krasiak and Don Monhoot and John Ferretti. It's just a real tight-knit community, if you will.
When you look back on some of the athletes that you've had a chance to coach during your time at Marian High School, and I know obviously, you look at all those years there, we can name a serious amount of guys who had standout years, but who were some guys that just went above and beyond everything that you and your staff asked of them?
Well, first of all, that in '73 when we first came in, we had a good group of athletes, a small team. We only had 38 kids on the team. But we had Nick DeChico, who's still in the community there. We had John Mello, who went on to Western Michigan and became a linebacker. He was our quarterback. And we just had a good group of seniors that led them all the way. Rico Hireman, Jerry Cliff, the whole 9 yards. Then as we got on further into the program, we incorporated people like Kevin Moss, who I coached a lot of great players, Paul. I have to say that Kevin might be the best I've ever coached. And he went on to play at Purdue, played a little bit in the NFL. John Moore played at Alabama, won 2 national championships over there. Tommy George was our quarterback, Paul Kazmierczak, Billy Baker, Dave O'Connor. I can go on and on. But these were not only good players, but these were really good classroom kids, really good social kids. So, and I gotta mention one that I still kept in touch with through all the years and still do keep in touch, Fred Khalil. And you may know Fred, but Fred was a sports announcer for ABC, NBC, and just retired from CBS in Atlanta and now lives in Phoenix, Arizona. So we just had a good group of kids, of people.
Coach, thanks for taking time to joining us here at the half at Marian High School.
Thank you, Paul. Appreciate it.
We'll be back with more high school football. Marian Culver Academy tonight on Regional Radio Sports.
Once again, huge thank you to Paul Condry for being able to talk with Mike Heklinski, the legendary coach here for the Marian Knights, of course, from all those state championship teams, as Andrew mentioned too earlier, was the head coach. And while we got the opportunity, I want to thank some of our friends who make it possible for us to broadcast here tonight. And one of those folks includes the great folks over at Centier Bank. If you checked out Centier Bank's student checking account, this no-fee checking account is perfect for students and teens ages 14 to 24 and comes with all the features you need to succeed, such as a debit card, digital banking, and automatic deposit. Centier Bank can help you start establishing good spending habits today for your better tomorrow. For more information, visit Centier.com/student-checking or visit your local branch. If you're under the age of 18, your parent or guardian must also sign on the Centier student checking account at the age of 25. Your account will automatically convert to the Centier checking account. You must deposit $25 to open this account. This account is not eligible for overdraft advantage. Member FDIC. Also want to thank our good friends over at McDonald Physical Therapy. Tonight's game is being sponsored by McDonald Physical Therapy and Sports Rehabilitation Center, located at 1005 North Hickory Road in South Bend. For 34 years, McDonald Physical Therapy and Sports Rehabilitation Center has been helping Michiana get stronger every day. Their phone number is 574-233-5754, and their website is mcdonaldpt.com. Once again, glad you could join us for some Marian Night football here on the Regional Radio Sports Network. They'll be back in action at home here next week as they take on the always tough and challenging Buff Jesuit Braves, and you can tune into that one here on our website at rrsn.com. Once again, Tanner Camp, Andrew Bowen, Liz Hoosier, and Mia McComish hanging out here at Bob Tolsky Field. We'll take another quick timeout. When we come back, we'll go through the scoring recap, give some thoughts, and get ready for the second half of play. But after 2 quarters that are in the books, our score, Mishawaka Marian 21 and Culver Academy 14. Back after this quick minute timeout here on the Regional Radio Sports Network.
There's always a moment of truth where it's either put up or shut up. We were yelling our hearts out. Even in our weakness, even in our pain, we continued to push. I don't know where the pain went to, but all I know is that I had what it took. I am a United States Marine.
PFC Darrell Willis serves his country as a Marine. Will you? Visit Marines.com or call 1-800-MARINES.
They came from every corner of the country, from small towns and big cities. But they all shared one thing in common. They belonged to a family called Marines, a tough and determined few dedicated to protecting everything we hold sacred. And still, they come. Celebrate the history of those proud few who have earned the title Marine.
Tanner Camp and Andrew Bowen back here from Mishawaka Marian High School in Mishawaka, Indiana. Our score 21-14 at the end of our first two quarters. Let's send things over to Andrew Bowen. He's got our stats from the first 24 minutes of Indiana high school football. Take it away, Andrew.
Let's talk through the visitors from Culver Academy first. 11 first downs in the first half. 9 of 13, 124 through the air. 22 rushes, 103 yards on the ground. Total offense, 38 plays, 227 yards for the Eagles. They had one turnover. It was an interception. They also had 2 turnovers on downs. That Marian defense really coming up, making some big plays. No penalties for the Culver Academy. So very clean game. As we said, very consistent, very disciplined team. They're not going to hurt themselves a lot. So no turnovers there. Time of possession dominated by Culver Academy, despite the score at 21-14 right now. Time of possession, Culver Academy 14 minutes and 43 seconds. So nearly 15 minutes of the 24 minutes that's been played so far has been owned by Culver Academy. Now, let's go total stats for Mishawaka Marian. Conversely, 9 first downs for Marian is, let's see here, where am I at? 4 through the air, 5 on the ground for Marian. 7 of 10, 116 yards in the air, 1 touchdown for Marian. 14 rushes, 70 yards for 24 total plays, 186 total yards. There was 1 turnover. It was Braxton Brooks with the fumble, and they also had a missed field goal, and then it doesn't technically count in the turnover department, but that's a missed opportunity as well. 3 penalties for 15 yards, all illegal procedures or illegal motions, so minor penalties, but something you want to see cleaned up. And then time of possession, 8 minutes, 34 seconds for Marian. Let's go through the scoring recap, and then we'll get to some individual stats. It was Culver Academy getting us started in the first quarter with 6:21, capping off. Give me a second here. I got so many sheets on here. I got to figure out where I'm going. A 6-play, 2-minute and 39-second drive, 73 total yards with a 6-yard touchdown run by Rodriguez. Extra point was good, 7-0. Mishawaka Marian on the ensuing kickoff, 13 seconds, 80-yard kickoff return by Deuce Owens. PAT good. Took the momentum right out of Culver Academy, and it really Marian kind of took it from there, but it was 7-7 at that point. In Mishawaka Marian, again, it's second quarter. They got on the board next. 5 seconds into the second quarter, a 7-yard run by Brooks. PAT good, 14-7 for Marian, and then Culver Academy's answered up 6 minutes later, dominating the time of possession, took up half of that second quarter, 6:08. They had a 1-yard TD run by McColgan. That was a 11-play, 70-yard drive, 5 minutes, 43 seconds there for the 1-yard TD run, by McColgan. So it tied it up at 14. And then we saw just before the half, highlighted with that big 44-yard reception, a 2-play, 46-second drive for Mishawaka Marian, the 5-yard touchdown reception by Deuce Owens. PAT good, 21-14. That's where we stand with scoring. Let's get to some individual numbers. Michael McColgan, again, as I said, 9 for 13, 124 yards, and an interception for him through the air. On the ground for the Culver Academy Eagles, Tay Rodriguez, 10 rushes, 24 yards, and a touchdown. Michael McColgan had 12 rushes, 74 yards, and a touchdown for him. Cartmel and Ega Bratton with a couple rushes, totaling 5 yards between the two of them. Aiden Cartmel really doing the damage for the receiving core for Culver Academy. He's got 6 receptions, 46 yards, and then Tay Rodriguez, a couple of long receptions for him, 2 receptions, 70 yards for him, and then Stockton with 1 reception for 8 yards. And that's Culver Academy's offense in the first half. For Marian in the first half, Bryce Lassane was 7 for 10, 116 yards. He started off the game with 3 straight incompletions, so he was 7-7 for 116 yards after that. So figured it out with 1 touchdown as well through the air for him. Brian Osman, 11 rushes, 57 total yards. Braxton Brooks, 3 rushes, 13 total yards with that touchdown. Through the air, Braxton Brooks, 2 receptions, 46 total yards. Again, that was the big 44-yard reception to set up the score just before the half. Lapino Sete, 2 receptions, 36 yards. Deuce Owens, 3 receptions, 34 yards for the offense for Marian.
We take a look now at some couple other scores that are going on around the area. One of the games that we're also broadcasting, LaPorte against Lowell in the second quarter. It is 7-7, the latest that we got. Maryville taking care of business right now against Tober, 21-0 in the second quarter. Concord up on Jimtown, 14-7, close game in the fourth quarter. South Bend Adams, after losing to Culver last week, they're up 15-8 against Logansport in the second quarter. At halftime, Warsaw Chesterton, they're tied at 0. No one scored yet. Knox Mechanical, it's 8-6 in favor of Knox in the second quarter. Last we had in the second quarter, Valparaiso up on Andrean, 21-0. And the final score update, Hanover Central up on Hammond Morton, 14-0 in the second quarter. Let's go ahead and take another minute timeout. When we come back, Andrew and I will give our keys to the second half of play. What does Marian need to do to hold on to this lead and pick up their first win and defend home field? And for Culver Military Academy, what do they need to do in order to go 2-0 to start off the 23 season? Back after this quick minute timeout here on the Regional Radio Sports Network.
They came from every corner of the country, from small towns and big cities, but they all shared one thing in common. They belonged to a family called Marines, a tough and determined few dedicated to protecting everything we hold sacred. And still, they come. Celebrate the history of those proud few who have earned the title Marine.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, wherever the mission takes us, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Back here at Bob Boltolsky Field, Tanner Camp, Andrew Bone, and huge shout out to Mia McComish, as well as Liz Hoosier for hanging out with us here on this absolutely beautiful Friday night here after the gross and hot weather that we've had over the last couple of days. Good to have things cool down, and now we'll give you a weather reset here in Mishawaka. 73 and partly cloudy. Real feel about 77, and it is going to be cloudy for the remainder of this game, so the lights truly are bright here in Mishawaka, Indiana. So, Andrew, let's start things off for the home team for Marian. What are some of the keys that they're going to have to do in order to protect home field and get for the win number 1 on the 23 campaign?
Well, obviously, you want to see the defense and the special teams continuing to make plays. You're not going to win if you don't stop Culver Academies in the second half. So they've been doing a great job with that. You want to see them continue that, and as we said in the pregame, finish. So they got to be able to finish. But conversely, 24 plays for Marian in the first half, only just over 8 minutes of possession. You really want to see them start to get some sort of rhythm going. They're going to need to control the ball, as Coach said in the pregame interview. They're going to need to control the time of possession a little bit better, control the ball, stay on the field, give that defense a break, keep Culver from getting opportunities to score. So I think that's keys for Marian. For Culver,
yep.
They're gonna need to start putting some plays together here. They've got seven plays of more than 14 or more yards. So they're getting down the field, but then they're not finishing. So maybe they finish as well for them. I guess I don't know. Maybe that's the word of the day. But they've got over 200 yards of total offense here in the first half. So they're making plays. They're just not making plays when they count. Two turnovers on down, and interception that was well read by the Marian defense. So they got to start stringing some drives together.
So in case you're just joining us, again, Culver Academy, the away team, they're in the white uniforms, the white pants. They got the maroon/burgundy numbers on the front of their uniform and the helmets. They got the maroon burgundy colors on the helmet, as well as the wings, of course, for the Eagles. And they're going to be kicking off, going now from left to right to start off this third quarter. And on the flip side for the Marian Knights, they're going to be wearing the blue uniforms with the blue pants, the white numbering, and they got the gray helmets and the Marian crescent on the side of their helmet. Once again, Eagles and Knights here. 2 more quarters of high school football here from Mishawaka, and we're glad that you have made us a part of your Friday night here in late August. Now here on the kickoff, here comes Teddy Foster. This one is high. This one is going to be caught by number 9 for the Knights and works up the middle. Check that 19. And play is made now, gets close to the 40, tries the spin back towards the middle, brought down hard, but what an opening return to start things off here for the Knights, and taking that one, number 19, Chase Bays.
Chase Bays with the interception earlier, so another great play by Chase Bays, getting some momentum here early, getting his Knights offense with good starting position. We'll figure out where their average starting position is for Marian, but it's been well into the midfield. So Marian's had a short field to deal with a lot of the time.
So the Marian offense gets ready to take control again, all under quarterback and 6'1", 195-pound senior Bryce Lassane. And so the Knights will get this one started.
It's like on 38-yard line to start.
Looks like the 38-yard line. Quick other score update for you with 3:23 left in the second. Wheeler High School up on Kankakee Valley, 14-12.
Boo. Sorry. I lived in DeMont for 5 years.
Oh, okay.
Kankakee Valley holds a special place in my heart.
So now here's Lassane, looks for the pass, goes deep, caught nicely, but still in the air, and CMA almost had the chance. Lassane was going for Jack to roll.
Just a little bit too high. He had him down the seam, but just a little bit too high and just out of the reach.
Of course, Kankakee Valley led by legendary coach Kirk Kennedy, of course, head coach during those great Lowell runs, including that championship run in the mid-2000s, of taking the helm for the Cougars at Fred Jones Field. Of course, my good buddy Vince Gray on the call for that one. 2nd and 10 here at the 38-yard line for the Knights. They lead 21-14 here in this third quarter. The handoff now to Osmond. He's not going to get much on that one. And it looks like they're going to spot him around the 42-yard line, so pick up a 4.
Brian Osmond on the carry.
So again, 3rd and 6 as they're going to spot at the 42 for Lassane. He's got Osmond on his left, 3 receivers on the far side and 1 on the near side. So now as Brion's looking to snap this one. Now Lassane looking on the right. Sprints out back far side, trying to avoid any defense. And there's a big-time play. And that one comes from number 64, Mark Warbington, the 5'9", 235-pound junior, brains down Lassane. And so the Knights going to go 3 and out as they're going to have to punt this one away. Not the start that the Knights wanted there, Andrew.
No, going backwards to start on a 3 and out, so tough start for them.
A couple other quick score updates from around the area. Bremen up 34-7 on Washington in the third quarter, and also Northwood up against Portage 28-0 in the second. Now the punt going to be taken by Pino Sete. That one little high, slips for a moment, and still gets an opportunity to punt. This one's high, not very far in distance. That one's just going to bounce in the wrong direction. And not a great punt there, Andrew.
Not a great punt, but a low snap. Just a tremendous job for him just to get a hand on it first of all and then pick it up and then avoid a few of the edge rushers and still get a foot on it to get at least some yardage out of that punt instead of a total disaster.
So now Michael McColgan and the Culver Academy Eagles get their first chance on the offensive side after the 3 and out here for Marian. They're going to be in good field position at the 46-yard line. Keep in mind, Culver Academy going from left to right if you're watching on your television screen, radio dial, iPhone, Nokia, if that somehow works still in this day and age. So now Michael McColgan snaps this one, hands it off to Rodriguez. Rodriguez looking on the right, going to the outside, and brought down, making the initial play for the Knights was Quinn Roan. And they're going to say pick up 5 on the play as he gets to the 41-yard line. Of course, here Marian at halftime, they celebrated the 1973 state championship team. So 50 years ago was when Marian brought their first of 3 state championships, all led by the legendary Mike Hecklinski, of course his brother Ron Hecklinski, legendary coach Anderson and Mishawaka, and now part of our company at the Regional Radio Sports Network, as McColgan looks to the near side and brought down hard by Quinn Roan. McColgan was looking on the play for Stockton, no relation to John. And so it'll be 3rd and 5 at the 41.
McColgan is really televising his passes there, and the Marian defense is secondary, is really doing a good job of jumping those passes and not giving any space to the receivers.
9:33 in the third quarter. Now here's McColgan. Looks immediately to the right. Looks on the near side for Stockton and brought down, they're going to say, at the 44-yard line, which they're going to say that it is enough for the first down. So they'll move the chains and keep the clock going. So first down there for CMA. So they're moving in the right direction with 9:20 in the third. Keep in mind, CMA leads the all-time series 8-6, but Marian won the last meeting at Culver 21-3 last year. Now Rodriguez works back on the right side, still looking to go outside, and he's going to step out of bounds as Quinn Roan makes the play once again.
Rodriguez on the carry. Quinn Roan on the stop.
Looks like a gain of 4 for Rodriguez there.
So just a little more than 9 minutes here in this game. Here at Otulski Field, Marian looking for their first win on the 23 campaign as they get ready for Brebeuf Jesuit next week. You can catch that game here on rrsn.com. Click on watch/listen live. We had a chance, Paul Condry did, to talk to the Marian Knights as that pass is outside on the far side, and pass is dropped by Foster Stockton. Again, Paul Condry had a chance to talk with Mike Davidson and a couple players for the Marian Knights. You can check that out on our website at rrsn.com, as well as our YouTube channel at Regional Radio Sports Network. Don't forget to subscribe and like to check out all videos from the broadcast, as well as interviews throughout the course of the last 2 months from the kickoff shows. Had a chance to go to Bethel, IU South Bend, and Holy Cross to chat with a couple coaches and players. So be sure you check out all the content on our YouTube channel. Again, Regional Radio Sports Network. 3rd and 6 here at the 32-yard line for Culver. Colgan looks near side and tried to find on the play there, was looking for Trey Schumacher, but incomplete. So 4th and 6 for the Culver Academy Eagles.
Culver offense is going to, it looked like they were going to stay out on the field for a second, but thought better of that one with trailing 7 here. Ball kind of in that no man's land of whether you're going to go for it or whether you're going to punt it, and they're going to, looks like they're getting ready to punt it. Marian's going to play some safe zone here. So.
Absolutely. It's because Tay Rodriguez is the punter. He's capable of making. He's done a nice job of following his blockers and finding the open space.
It's that very rare wildcat punter.
Exactly. You do not see that often, but be ready for the wildcat here again with Tay Rodriguez. If he is going to punt it, it's not going to be a very long one. So Knights will need to be ready as there are 7 Eagles ready to go up front, and Rodriguez the furthest Eagle back. So let's see how CMA plays this one. As it looks like, Andrew, we're going to have a timeout. That one's going to be taken by CMA here at the 8:37 mark.
I think Marian lining up in that little bit of a prevent safety. I think Culver Academy was looking to see how they were going to line up and determine if they were going to punt it, if they're going to go. They saw them line up at that safe. They said, okay, we need to rethink this.
Definitely. Let's get a chance to thank our friends at Beef O'Brady's. While it's Friday, Beef O'Brady's in Granger now features Fish and Chips Fridays. Enjoy 4 fried cod fillets plus fries and coleslaw now for just $10.99. Located at State Road 23 and Bittersweet Road. Beef's is open for lunch at 11 a.m. 7 days a week. For more information, the website is www.beefobradys.com or call 574-271-1415. Beef O'Brady's, good food, good sports. I'll be honest with you, that sounds fantastic right now. As I get so 4th and 6. After Culver Academy called that timeout, Marian Knights, the other football players, trying to get the fans fired up as now there looks like CMA going to go for it. 1 receiver on the left, 2 on the right. Now here's McColgan dropping back, got to go with the pass, looks on the right. That pass is caught. That one is caught on the play. I believe that was number 3, Kyle Eggebrotten. And so a big-time 4th down conversion for the Eagles on 4th and 6. And they're going to spot this one, looks like at the 21-yard line.
Gain of 11 there.
Gain of 11, an Eagle. First down.
Now Charlie Joyce at the center, ready to snap this one to McColgan. Colgan hands it off to Rodriguez, looks on the left outside, breaks 2 tackles, but then a swarm of Knights piles up on him. And I tell you what, Rodriguez has done a nice job. He's been really evading those tackles, and even just picking up 2 or 3 extra yards can be a huge difference maker. This looks like they're going to spot this one. It looks like at the 16-yard. I believe it's a gain of 5.
Yes.
Maybe 6.
We'll say a gain of 5 here.
Gain of 5 on the play.
So second and 5. So now here is McColgan on the handoff to Rodriguez, and this piled up. Nothing really happened in there.
Rodriguez on the carry.
Check that, Rodriguez on the play.
No gain.
So 3rd and 5 for CMA. And if they got to go to the field goal unit, it'll be Teddy Foster, the senior from Columbus, Ohio, who would be kicking the field goal. So 3rd and 5 at the 16. Ball's lost, still loose. This one's on the ground. Let's see who gets this one. Marian says they have it, and let's see what the official call is.
Looks like Marian hopped on it. There is a flag, or is that a flag, or is that just a turnover?
Let's see what the call is as we take time to clear up the pile here. Marian says they have it, and they're going to say they do. The Marian Knights defense comes up big again. They get a stop at the 16-yard line. And the Knight defense have an interception. They've got a fumble to their name now. Andrew, just like I'm sure you are the same with me, the Knights defense, they've made the big-time plays when they've needed to in those key scenarios.
Yes, absolutely. They a little bit of a bobble that time by McCoglin as he was getting ready to either the RPO or whatever he was planning on doing there, but just never had full control of it. Bounced off his chest pads, and Marian was quick to jump on it.
So now at the 17-yard line with under 7 minutes to go in this third quarter, Marian comes away with a huge fumble recovery. So now it's Bryce Lassane. We'll flip the card over and get the offense going here for Marian. Looking for the handoff here to Osman. And Osman might have gained a couple on the play as he's brought down immediately. And so they'll officially spot him.
They're going to no gain on the play there, it looks like.
No gain.
Yeah, you are correct, Andrew. So no gain on the play for Osman. With 6:30 to go here in the third quarter, Marian leads 21-14. With all the scoring happening in the first half of play. So now let's see what Bryce Lassane is going to call here. 3 receivers on the right, and they're going to go to Osman on the pitch, but he didn't catch the ball. Step number 1 in terms of making a reception, and couldn't make it there. So an incomplete pass from Bryce Lassane makes it 3rd and 9.
Well, I guess they did give Osman a 1-yard gain on that previous play.
So once again, the line up front on offensively for Marian: Giovanni Garcia, Carson Jenk, Chris Biones, Mark Warbington, and Harrison Grenert. On the flip side for the Culver Academy Eagles, the other big fellas up front: Nick Fumick, Job Maverick, Charlie Lawson, and a key player to keep an eye on throughout this game has been Henry Martello, the 6'3", 250-pound senior. So 3rd and 9 with 6:11 to go. And a timeout is going to be taken by the Marian Knights. And with that timeout, all Marian Knights timeouts as well as touchdowns are brought to you by Troy Gill with Health Markets Insurance Agency. Call Troy Gill, your local licensed insurance agent with Health Markets Insurance Agency in Northern Indiana. Choosing the right Medicare plan for you can be confusing. Let Troy help you find a plan that best fits your needs and budget. Call 574-360-0791 to speak with a licensed insurance agent for a free appointment virtually, by phone, or in person to review your specific needs and help find a plan that's right for you. Again, call 574-360-0791 today. Health Markets Insurance Agency Incorporated is licensed in all states and D.C. Service and product availability varies. Agents may be compensated based on enrollment. No obligation to enroll. Again, big thank you to Troy Gill. All their timeouts and touchdowns in today's game are thanks to him. So 6:11 after Mike Davidson calls the timeout. each coach has used one timeout here in the third quarter. Knights on the 18-yard line. Bryce Lassane got 4 potential receivers on the left and looking for his options. Looks deep, and that one is caught. Nice toss from Bryce Lassane. And in the end, that one is going to be caught by number 27. That one's going to be Terrence Lane. It's the sophomore who makes the play, and the Knights convert on third down.
A 20-yard reception that time.
20 yards on that play, good for Marian Knights. First down.
So again, all first downs here tonight. The Miss Marian first down brought to you by J Mill Packaging and the Deer family. First and 10 at the 38-yard line for the Knights. Now the handoff here to Osmond. Osmond still up on his feet, still up, and brought down on the play. And actually, that is going to be Braxton Brooks who gets the handoff there. Gets
24 yards.
So nice job of the 5'9 junior. He wanted to break free, and he certainly did on that one. So 2 really nice plays offensively. The great catch from Terrence Lane.
I'm going to say 37, 25s.
And now Braxton Brooks. So Marian offense really clicking right now. So 3 receivers on the right, 1 on the left, and Brooks now working that running back spot. They're going to go to Sete on the far side. He's going to pick up a couple, got some open space. He's going to have nothing but green grass in front of him for 6. That's a touchdown for Lapino Sete. Once he found the open, he just had 1 defender to get through, and he did exactly that. And Lapino Sete, what a play from the 5'9 senior.
37-yard reception. Oh, they're going to say a holding call. Must have been on that corner. That's why he had the corner there. So take that back.
Ouch. That one hurts, and unfortunately, Andrew, has been the plays like that, but that's the first penalty that has really had an impact in this game as they'll take the 6 off the board, so we stay at 21-14. They're going to bring this one
back 10 yards, back to the 47.
So a close play there. Was a beautiful segment, but instead the Knights now have to go all the way back. So it'll be 1st and 20, third on the 47-yard line. So now here's Lassane. Going to pitch this one as Osmond tries to break. He tries to break through 2 tackles. There is a flag on the play. Let's see who they get this one on. Culver happy with the defensive effort as
that might be another holding on Marian in the backfield there. Now, if you're Culver, do you if it's a holding, do you accept it? 'Cause you got a minus 8 yards on the rush attempt there. Do you take the 8 yards and the down? I would.
That's I think what they would do, because more than anything else, it'll force that 4th down situation. It was 3rd and 20. So they're going to get holding. They're going to get it against the Knights, and they will decline it. Andrew, you read their mind perfectly.
Is declined by Culver.
So now the Knights all the way back on the 45-yard line. So actually 2nd and 28, my apologies there. So 28 yards just for Marian to get a first down here on this drive. Now Lassane got to have to pass here. Works to the right. Passes up ahead. They're going to say the catch is incomplete. That was Jack DeRoll who Lassane was looking for, but the 6'1 junior cannot make the catch. So 3rd and 28 with 5:02 to go in the third quarter.
Penalties really hurting the Marian offense here. You want to kind of see them tighten that up a little bit, continue to get momentum. 5 minutes left here in the third quarter. They got to finish strong.
So let's see how the Knights play. They've got to assume they're going to try to go for something in the air. They got 3 receivers on the left and 1 on the right. So now Lassane drops back in the pocket looking for his options. Breaks off from 1 defender, still on his feet, but brought down that time
That was Henry Martello getting into the background and causing all sorts of disruptions.
No surprise there. And talking to head coach Andy Dole earlier, he said he figured that Marian was going to have to try to plan their scheme around Martello. He's 6'3", 250, but he moves really well for his side. So now with a 4th and 35 on the 38-yard line.
7-yard loss there on 3rd down. So 4th and 35, 4th and a mile.
So it's going to be Lupino Sete, the senior, who's going to punt this one. And back to return on the punt is Tay Rodriguez, Trey Schumacher, and Rory Sullivan. Solid punt here, but it's dropped it on the ground, and Marian's picked this one up. Marian picked this one up. Culver touched the ball. They couldn't pick this up, and Marian, special teams, makes a big play. It was Tay Rodriguez. It slipped in between his arms. And it was Patrick Dare. Nice job from Dare of being aware of the situation. So Dare is aware there. Wow, I didn't mean to do that. But coming up with the big play. So the special teams now, instead of punting it away and giving it back to CMA, Andrew, it's almost as if they're right back where they were before, 35-yard line.
Right back before those consecutive holding penalties really knocked them backwards. Special teams is 1/3 of the game. It's just as important as offense and defense. You don't hear it talked about as much, but really coming into play tonight.
And when you take a look at big moments in this game, I think that's one you're going to have to look back to, simply from the fact that now Marian can continue to eat up clock and try to get that score that they almost had. So Lassane now working from that spot, looking deep. He wants it, and he is not going to get it as he tried to find William Owens.
Deuce became the cornerback on that one. That was
absolutely
a wounded duck going out that way, and Owens had to break off his route and just get in front and just knock it down.
Once he realized Owens did that he couldn't catch it at that point, it was just a matter of not letting Stockton make a play there. So good heads-up play from the junior. So clock stops, 4 minutes and 8 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. Marian still leads 21-14. No scoring at this point. We thought we had one, but then a penalty against the Knights. So now Lassane, quick toss, a nice find up front to Jack DeRoll. He's going to bully his way, and he's going to get more. And he is going to drop now at the 20. That's some big boy football right there for the 6'1 junior. Andrew, that's just a nice job of DeRoll of just making the play and pushing himself forward. That's got to be at least to pick up a 15.
The 15 yards on the reception there. You want to talk about finishing a play. That's finishing a play right there. Kept his high knees, kept his feet moving, and really drove forward for a few extra yards.
So they're actually going to say 14 on the play there. And that is a Marian Knights first down, and once again brought to you by our friends at J Mill Packaging and the DeRoll family. Nearly 3:30 in the 3rd quarter. Now Lassane going to hand this one off to Osmond, but there's going to be a flag on the play. And Andrew, this might be another false start against the Knights, and that's exactly what it's going to be. I tell you what, no matter the outcome of this, that's one thing Coach Davidson is going to have a long talk about over the course of the next week.
5 penalties, 30 yards, a lot of false starts. Yeah, they're itching to get it into the play. Just need to just be a little bit more patient. Wait till that ball is snapped before they get after it.
A 6A scoreboard update for you between 5th-ranked Brownsburg and 3rd-ranked Cathedral. Brownsburg leads 28-17 with 8:19 in the 3rd. So a battle of the big boys in 6A between two top 5 teams. So now on 1st and 15 at the 26-yard line, here's Bryce Lassane dropping back, looking for his receivers, goes near side, and he's going to find William Owens. And he should pick up a gain of about 7 there. So they'll be at the 19-yard line with under 3 minutes to play in the 3rd quarter. So pickup of 7, 2nd and 8 on the 19. And Mishawaka Marian leading 21-14, trying to get 6 more points, and then the PAT to take this to a 2-possession lead, as now Lassane going to hold this one for himself, follows his blockers. Nice job of pushing forward, and eventually brought down by Henry Martello. They're going to be marked down probably around the 14-yard line, so pick up a 5.
Lassane on the carry.
So it should be a 3rd and 3 situation. Boy, a 3rd down conversion for Marian would really keep this momentum going as we're approaching 2 minutes left in the 3rd.
3rd down conversion or not, I think you can stay out there on 4th down, really send a message, even if they don't get it here. And that's a big opportunity to see some momentum here.
Lassaine's got Osmond on his left, 3 receivers on the right, 1 on the left. So now Lassaigne going to go with quick toss over on the far side to Sete. But he's brought down immediately as Rory Sullivan says, no, you may not. So let's see where the official marking is at.
Maybe a gain of 1 there.
They're going to say that it is
no gain.
4th and 3rd still. And Marian, they're going to go for it on a 4th and 3rd on their own 14-yard line.
And there's going to be another false
But that's going to be offside. So, Andrew, clean football for Culver Military Academy, and the first penalty comes at such
costly one.
A crucial one. It could be the only penalty for the Eagles the entire night, and that is another game-changer play there.
4th and 3 in the red zone. You got to be disciplined there. You got to stay back and then react. And Culver Academy wanting to make a play. Can't follow him for that, but it's a costly penalty.
So now 1st and 5 on the 9-yard line. Check that. So it'll be 1st and goal. Marian, 9 yards. They can smell the 6 points from there. So now here is Bryce Lassaigne. As both teams up, and I think they're waiting for the official clock to start. Now they do. So game clock and...
Yep. Got to restart the play clock is what they're waiting on.
So that's what they're double-checking on. So both teams up. And now our official is going to say that we're back in action. So clock rolls on, and the Knights trying to put up 6. Here's Lassaigne. Look to Osmond. Goes to him. And working his way up, and looks like he got maybe to the 5-yard line. We'll see what the gain is with 50 seconds left here in the 3rd quarter. And no, actually,
loss of 1. That's
most
a 10, not
opposite,
the 1, not the 5.
This vantage point as the offense and defense over on the far side. So a loss of 1 on the play. So 27 seconds left. 2nd and 10 for the Knights. So now Lassaigne, the pitch over. Oh, my goodness, the big-time hit from number 3, Kyle Egebratton.
Loss of 4 on that one. Took his helmet off as well.
Lassaigne had the little pitch left over to Osmond. So the clock stops because the helmet did come off. So with the score being 21-14. Andrew, another situation here. If you're the Knights, do you just at the very minimum take your 3 points, or do you just go for it on 4th? It's only a 1-score game.
The kicking game has been solid. It depends on how much you get here, I think. If you can get inside the 5-yard line on this, I think you take your chance and go for it. If you don't get anything here, I think you got to trust the kicking game, get 3, make it a 2-possession game going to the 4th quarter.
So loss of 6, and the Knights are going to just let the game clock roll out. So we've got a great 4th quarter coming up for you here as the clock now reads 0, and we've played 3 quarters of high school football, and it's the Marian Knights leading 21-14 over the Culver Academy Eagles. Tanner Camp, Andrew Bowen, Liz Hoosier, and Mia McComish hanging out here at Bob Tolsky Field here in Mishawaka, back after this quick timeout here on the Regional Radio Sports Network on RRSN.com video.
Did you know there's a place right here in Michiana that provides comfort and care for families of sick or injured children? Ronald McDonald House Charities of Michiana gives families everything they need, whether it's a hot shower, a comfortable bed, or a home-cooked meal. This allows parents to truly prioritize the health and well-being of their child. Because of people in this community just like you, RMHC Michiana provides their services at 0 cost to the families. Find out how you can volunteer or donate to rmhcmichiana.org.
There's always a moment of truth where it's either put up or shut up. We were yelling our hearts out. Even in our weakness, even in our pain, we continued to push. I don't know where the pain went to, but all I know is that I had what it took. I am a United States Marine.
PFC Darrell Willis serves his country as a Marine. Will you? Visit Marines.com or call 1-800-MARINE.
Let's get this fourth quarter started here. Fasten your seatbelts and have your trays in the upright position. We're going to get ready for 12 more minutes here in regulation. So now we're going to have Bryce Lassane, 3rd and 16 from that goal. Now looking over on the far side, Chad, a receiver, but just slipped on the grass as the look was for, I believe that was 21 on the play. I believe that was Brian Osman. And no, they're actually going to say that that is number 27. That's going to be Terrence Lane.
We have a timeout for an injured player.
And there's a wounded Eagle on the play.
Looks like he's cramping up.
And we'll get confirmation
Injured Culver player.
for who it is here in just a moment. But while we have this opportunity, Andrew, what a third quarter, no scoring, but that's not going to describe the action of everything we saw. And I think the key plays still, the two big plays was Sete's 6 points coming back, but also the fumble recovery that the Knights had.
Yeah, they're getting a little sloppy in the third quarter, both sides struggling to find any sort of rhythm. But I think, by and large, I think the script has been flipped a little bit. You're seeing Marian make the plays, make the bigger plays, and Culver Academy sputtering a little bit. Not necessarily what you want to see in the third quarter of a very tight game, but let's see what they can do in the fourth quarter. A lot of ball game left to be played.
Yeah, only 4 seconds off the clock. Current weather now, 72 degrees, still partly cloudy. Real feel at 75, a lot cooler than it has been the last couple days. And be sure to check out our website at rrsn.com for all sorts of featured articles, what's going on around the state in high school football, as well as other sports like Bethel men's soccer. Number 1 team in the country. So down on the play, they're saying that was number 74, which was Job Maverick. That's one of the key players for this team from locally in the area of Culver, Indiana. As Andrew said, just some cramping, so he'll step off the field. Certainly hope that he's okay. So with the dropped pass now, 4th and 16. It's at the 16-yard line. And, Andrew, you are correct, as it's going to be Lucas Primrose. This is a big field goal opportunity. I believe this will be his first one taken, not just in the game, but I believe all season long, according to my stat sheet. So Lucas Primrose, the junior, an opportunity to put 3 on the board. It's held, and flag is up in the air. The Marian press box saying that it's a false start. So it'll go against the Knights. So they'll push this one back 5 yards.
It looks like the offense is going to come back
Must
out on
be
the
just
field,
little
out of his range.
So this one now spotted at the 21-yard line. So as Andrew said, the offense will come back on the field, led by 6'1", 195-pound senior Bryce Lassane. And so now Osman on his tail. 2 receivers, now 3 receivers on the right, 1 on the left. Here's Lassane, the senior, drops back, looking for his options, goes deep, goes for the end zone. It's up, it's in the air, and it's dropped and swatted away. As making the play there for Culver, Rory Sullivan, the 5'6", 158-pound senior, swatted that one away. As the Knights, they were looking in the end zone near side. So clock stopped, only 9 seconds taken off in the fourth quarter, and CMA going to start at the 21-yard line.
As play resumes, first and 10.
So we'll flip the card here and get ourselves ready. Again, I want to thank all the great sponsors who make it possible for us to broadcast here at Marian High School. And looking forward to being back here where the Knights will take on Rebuff Jesuit. So now here is McColgan. McColgan hands this one off to Rodriguez. And there is a pile on the play. And so this one is going to be spotted. Looks like at the, believe it's the 24-yard. They're going to say that it's gain of 2, so at the 23-yard line. So 2nd and 8. The defense has been doing a nice job of not letting Culver get any big plays. Let's see if they can come up with another one here early in the 4th. Now McColgan on the handoff, goes to Rodriguez. Rodriguez back in the outside, goes off one of his blockers, going to get a couple extra before running out of bounds and being pushed by Braden Smith. So Tate Rodriguez comes up with a big-time rush. Again, he started at the 23.
Gain of,
and they're going to spot him, I think, at the 46. If that's the case, that is a 23-yard run for Tay Rodriguez.
Looks like they're
hold on a minute.
Walking back, maybe
well, Andrew, there is a flag on the play. And that looks like it's going to go against Culver. So the officials waiting for the spot on the play. So it was holding. It was against a block in the back called against CMA. So from the spot of the foul to go back 10 yards. So it'll be 2nd down and 1 for Culver. Now McColgan drops back looking for the pass. Goes with a laser dart, and that one is caught by number 1, Aiden Cartmel. And he is tackled. And so CMA makes up almost all the yardage that they had earlier with Rodriguez.
14 yards on the reception.
Gain of 14 on that play.
So now that one is lost, almost picked up by the Knights. Rodriguez lost it momentarily. And Joseph Boone was about 2 steps away from being able to make a play on top of that one. They already have 1 fumble recovery, the Knights do. And so
5-yard loss there.
Now we do have a final. And so the backyard brawl is going to be in favor of the Kingsmen as they win at home against Mishawaka by a score of 28-7. Of course, Penn coming off the big-time win in Valparaiso against the Valparaiso Vikings, the 5A state champions. So Penn starts off 2-0. And so the look outside, caught by Cartmel. Gets a couple yards, still with the football, gets past the 50. And that one is going to drop probably about the 52-yard line. And
52.
Oh, the 52. Great.
The good old 52.
Ah, the 52-yard line. How about the 48-yard line the other way?
13 yards on the reception for Cartmel.
Ball marked at the Marian 48. It's 3rd down and 2.
And Andrew, for Corey Yeoman, how about this? Win number 200 for him at Penn High School. So congratulations to Coach Yeoman. He has done a great job having to follow one of the most successful high school football coaches in the state in Chris Giesman. So Corey Yeoman, congratulations on win number 200. Now the handoff to Rodriguez. And he's going to pick up some good yardage there as that one going to be a 1st down with a little more than 9 minutes in the 4th quarter. So gain of 5. And so that one will be at the 43-yard line. I have a score update for you. Lowell up 20-7 against LaPorte in the 3rd quarter. So now here is McColgan for the Eagles. 2 receivers on the right, 2 on the left, and Rodriguez on his left hip. So now McColgan looking for the pass. Heavy pressure being applied right away. Has to just toss this one, but it's going to be for an incomplete pass, so the clock will stop at the 8:33 mark.
McColgan's pass incomplete.
So for the Eagles, keep in mind both coaches have 2 timeouts remaining in this quarter. And we're 8:33 as Marian leads 21-14 here from Bob Witolski Field on the campus of Marian High School. We'll be back here next Friday as the Knights take on Brebeuf Jesuit. And so it's McColgan who just tiptoes his way for a couple extra yards as he's going to pick up about 4 on the play. So it'll be 3rd and 6 at the 39-yard line. Of course, again, big thank you to Liz Hoosier for the great work upstairs. And Mia McComish, our newest intern here, glad to have her on the team and getting some help, helped out with my prep work in preparation for a top 15 match between the Bethel Pilots and the Oklahoma Wesleyan Eagles. So now the handoff here to Rodriguez, but the Knights, nice job of making a nice defensive play there. And so maybe 1 yard, but I don't think there's any gain on the play. So it was Rodriguez on the handoff. And they were actually saying that was number 3 on the play, was Kyle Eggebrotten. No gain on the play, so 4th and 6. Very important play here for the Eagles. But the Knights, if they can get a stop here, that could really
take the air out of the ball.
Absolutely. So now Michael McColgan, 2 receivers on his left and right with Rodriguez on the left. So now here is McColgan looking for options, going to the left. Now has the football sliding through. And that should be enough for the first down, and they're going to move the chains. So heads-up play for the 5'11 junior.
Like a gain of 7 there. That's enough for a first down.
Couple score updates. West Noble defeats Wawasee 20-12. Columbia City takes care of business against Plymouth 42-14. And Concord takes care of Jimtown by a score 27-10. So Greg Kaler's squad 2-0 to start the season. And Mia McComish loves that one. That's her alma mater, captain of the soccer team there. So we just wish her best of luck. She wraps up her final campaign with Concord. Whereas Paul Condry would say Concord. So now Rodriguez on the right goes up the middle. Ooh, big-time collision there between Rodriguez and Brooks.
Have a gain of 7 or 8. Let's see what they call it. It's right in between.
Looks like they're going to go with 8 on the play. So 2nd and 2 at the 22-yard line. 6:20. And the Knights, they lead by 7, 21-14. But Culver Academy, the offense has really picked it up. Can the Knights make another big defensive play as they have with the interception and the fumble recovery? Now McColgan drops back. The quick toss to Rodriguez. Got some space. Goes on the outside. And he stays in bounds. Jukes back to the right. Back to the left. And eventually brought down by number 31 on the play for the Knights.
Big gain of 8.
And that tackle by Luke Vantherhout. I tell you what, Andrew, when we start talking about players of the game, I think Tay Rodriguez has to be near the top, at least for the Culver side. He's just done a nice job of being able to make those extra plays, and just those 2 or 3 yards have been big for Culver to keep their possession alive.
Absolutely, and I think on the Marian side, I'm giving an early one to Chase Bass. He came up with the interception, came up with a big stop on special teams. He's got to be up there for the Marian defense.
So still 5:40. So now here is Michael McColgan. Works up the middle, tucks this one, and brought down by a couple Knights there.
McColgan on the carry.
So this 5'11 junior will pick up a couple there. It'll still be 2nd down, and it'll be a gain of 4. So 2nd and 6 on the 12-yard mark. A little more than 5 minutes in the 4th. We've had a great game throughout the course of tonight. Marian looking for their first win on the season, and Culver Academy looking to start the season off 2-0. So now McColgan, once again, going to take this one himself, looking for options, running out of space, but brought down hard by Mishawaka Marian.
Loss of 4 there.
And they're going to say 84, Caleb Johnson, the 6'2", 210-pound junior, comes up with the tackle with a loss of 4. So it goes back to 3rd and 10. So now 2 receivers on the left, 2 on the right. Keep in mind, Charlie Lawson, Job Maverick, Charlie Joyce, Henry Martello, and Jake Dolan, the 5 up front for the Eagles. Now here's Michael McColgan dropping this back. He's in trouble.
Throw it away.
But it's a heads-up play by number 3 for the Knights. It's Braxton Brooks. And really applying the pressure, and McColgan, that's all he had to do. So the clock stops at 4:08. 4th and 10 situation.
And 4:08 left in the game. You got to go for it here. There's really no question.
Nope, can't. You're
Culver,
right.
Culver, it's been a war of attrition here in the second half. There's not very many opportunities to be had left, so they were going to have to go for it.
Knights fans bringing the noise. They know one stop could make a big difference, and they're going to say a timeout, and I believe that one's going to be taken by the Knights. Mike Davidson wants to make sure that the Knights are settled in offensively. So with this timeout, of course, we want to thank our friend at Troy Gill for sponsoring these timeouts and touchdowns as well. They're brought to you by Troy Gill. Call Troy Gill, your local licensed insurance agent with Health Markets Insurance Agency in Northern Indiana. Choosing the right Medicare plan can be confusing. Let Troy help you find a plan that best fits your needs and budget. Call 574-360-0791 to speak with a licensed insurance agent for a free appointment virtually by phone or in person to review your specific needs and help find a plan that's right for you. Health Markets Insurance Agency is licensed in all states and D.C. Service and product availability varies. Agents may be compensated based on enrollment. No obligation to enroll. All right, Andrew, this is big. You got to think that unless it's some type of trick play where they can pitch it back to Rodriguez or McColgan, if there's good blocking up front, the reality is if there's going to be good blocking up front, you got to think Martello is going to be a big part. But do the Eagles keep this one on the ground? But you got to think they got to go in the air.
Cartmell's going to be an option. I think Tay Rodriguez has had a couple long receptions here as well. You got to be targeting one of those two. I don't think you can rush it with Rodriguez out of the background. McColgan has had some good opportunities with space in the middle.
Michael McColgan now. Here we go. Looking to his left. Makes the catch. Intercepted, but it was dropped. But making the play on the breakup, it was Braxton Brooks, so he makes back-to-back plays. Would have had an interception, but a pass breakup is just as good. So with 4:05, there is still time. And, Andrew, at this point, you got to think for Mishawaka Marian, your only goal is this. As long as you keep getting first downs and moving the ball up the field, you've got the clock is now your best friend.
Story of the second half for the Culver Academy. This is the second straight possession. There are only 2 possessions in the second half.
Wow.
Long drives, both ended at Marian's 16-yard line.
Wow. What are the odds of that? So now we'll flip the card. 4:05 left in the fourth. Bryce Lassane, as long as the Knights keep the offense out on the field, air the clock out, and they can pick up the win here at home against CMA. So now here is Lassane. He's got Osmond to his right. Gets the snap, looks towards the middle, spins around to the left, and he's just going to run this one. And so there's going to be a timeout immediately taken by Culver. So now keep this in mind. 1 timeout left for each team. So the clock stops at 3:58. Now we want to take this opportunity to thank our friends over at Centier Bank. If you checked out Centier Bank's student checking account, this no-fee checking account is perfect for students and teens ages 14 to 24 and comes with all the features you need to succeed, such as debit card, digital banking, and automatic deposit. Centier Bank can help you start establishing good spending habits today for your better tomorrow. For more information, visit Centier.com/student-checking or visit your local branch. If you're under the age of 18, your parent or guardian must also sign on the Centier student checking account. At the age of 25, your account will automatically convert to the Centier checking account. You must deposit $25 to open this account. This account is not eligible for overdraft advantage. Member FDIC. 3:58, 2nd and 10 on the 16.
Culver Academy, 26 plays in this second half. Two possessions ending both at the 16-yard line. Missed opportunities.
Yes, that's Coach Dorr will have a talk with this, but still plenty of time. 21-14 is how Culver won last week. Let's see how Marian can respond. Lassane, nice throw up ahead. And that should be enough for the first down, as the toss there was to William Owens, a.k.a. Deuce Owens. And they're going to move the chains, and that is going to be a Marian Knight first down.
12 yards, looks like, on the reception.
And, of course, the Marian Knight first down brought to you by J-Mill Packaging and the DeRoll family. So 3:40 left in the fourth quarter, First and 10. And the ball about at the 27-yard line. Clock continues to roll. Keep in mind, both teams have one timeout left. Lassane, he's going to take this one for himself. He's going to break free for another tackle, and he's going to be brought down at the 40-yard line, and the senior comes up with the big rush, and that means it's another Mishawaka Marian first down here at home. What a play from the senior, just broke out of that pile of Eagles.
For a moment, it looked like he was going to take it, but did a great job once the defense caught up with him. Just don't turn the ball over. Take it down. Your clock is in your favor. The score is in your favor. Got to take care of the ball, and he did a great job going down with it.
And that Marian Knight first down, again, brought to you by J-Mill Packaging and the DeRoll family. Under 3 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Marian on offense, back-to-back first downs. And as long as they keep possession, they can run out as much clock as they want. The handoff now here to Osmond. Osmond stays on his feet and going to pick up about 3 yards on the play.
Brian Osmond on the carry.
And, Andrew, I believe, did Culver call their final timeout?
That was Culver taking the timeout, yes.
So Culver takes the timeout. That is their final timeout here at the 2:41 mark. And, of course, all timeouts from tonight. Thanks to our friend again from Troy Gill for helping out with after the timeouts and touchdowns, and again to the J-Mill Packaging and the DeRoll family for after first down. So 2:41 to go left in this fourth quarter. Marian with possession. They got to get 7 in order to get the first down, and they're at their own at the 43-yard line. Let's see if we can get a couple score updates for you here as they're just piling on in. In the third quarter, Lowell is over LaPorte by a score of 26-7. In the third quarter, KV up on Wheeler 20-14. And so now Mishawaka Marian out on the pitch again. Bryce Lassane, he's out there with the Hogs up front. Giovanni Garcia, Carson Jink, Chris Biones, Mark Warbington, and Harrison Grenert. So now here is Lassane. Takes the ball, pitches this on the right to Osmond. Osmond gets through one defender and is eventually brought down by Ty Rakin.
Brian Osmond on the carry.
So on the carry, gets past the 50-yard line and will be brought down at the 48-yard line.
Gain of 5 on
So it'll be a gain of 5. And as we approach 2 minutes left here in this fourth quarter,
it's third down and 3.
Andrew, you got to think that a first down
First down would pretty much do
probably seal the deal here. We've seen crazy things happen throughout the course of the night. So this is where the discipline for this night team is going to come into play. 3rd and 3, 2 minutes left in the fourth. Now here's Lassane. The hand fakes the handoff to Osmond, but he slipped. He had an opportunity. The blocking was good up front and had a chance to get that first down and potentially seal the deal. Instead, he slips, and now at the 50-yard line. So it's decision time now for the Knights.
Here's my prediction. They're going to let the clock
roll out as much as
they can.
My guess is they might call a timeout here.
And Bryce Lassane's going to go Wildcat and then kind of punt it down the field.
We'll see what happens here. But right now, 10 seconds on that game clock. Still 1:20 left in this fourth quarter. So here we go. Lassane's got Osmond on the play.
And a false start.
And a false start against the Knights.
Before, I wonder if he thought they called the timeout, and so he was standing up. Just at that point, if I'm a lineman, I'm staying in my stance until I'm being told, okay, we're in a timeout. You can get out of it now. So that takes any question out of the play call here. At 4th and 10 on your own 40, 72 seconds left in a one-possession game.
And this comes down as the punter's going to be Pino Sete. This matters a lot here because a good punt could So let's see what Sete does. He's going to need a real nice punt to try to get Culver Academy far away. Now keep in mind, Culver Academy does not have any timeouts, so keep that in mind. So now, here's the punt. Here's Sete. Gets a good one. This one's high. This one's deep. Rodriguez just lets that one drop. And so Marian's going to pick that up. Rodriguez, he already let one slip, and that's how Marian recovered it. So in that case, just decides to let that one drop on the play. So we've been talking about the Marian defense all night long. They've come up with an interception, a fumble recovery. With 1:05 left, if they can anchor down, they can put a sword through this one and slay the Eagles. They've got to make big plays defensively. What can Michael McColgan do for the Eagles? And let's see what this defense again. Lasagna, Lee, Klein, and Johnson up front for the Knights. The Hogs up front. So now McColgan, keep an eye on Rodriguez. McColgan looking to his right. Going deep, going in the air. Almost an interception. A great pass breakup right there.
Reading the eyes of McCoglin again, but if he floats that just any more than he did, wide open for a touchdown.
And Quinn Roan, nice job of spotting and poked it away. If he would have had the interception, that would have probably put the nail in the coffin, but instead, 2nd and 10. Clock stops at 59 seconds. So again, you got to think Culver by passing, unless it's an interception. The reality is it will stop the clock at this point. So now here is McColgan. McColgan drops back, looking for receivers on his left. Tries to find Rory Sullivan, but cannot convert on the play. So 3rd and 10 with 54 seconds left. 2.5 hours into this game. We kicked off at 7:30, and this has been a good one. No scoring at all. All the scoring has been done in the first half of play. And with 54 seconds left, Culver is going to need to get to the 47-yard line in order to get the first down for Marian. Let's see if they can anchor down and make the big stop. McColgan now in the pocket looking for an option. He's brought down by number 84, Caleb Johnson, the 6'2 junior. Comes away with the big play. But he's down on the field right now. Looks like he's got a bit of a cramp.
And we have a timeout for the injured.
And Marian tried to stretch out because now the clock will stop at 37 seconds left. Andrew, nice job of the 6'2 junior. He made a big effort there to get a tackle for loss.
Big effort there. Got a great jump off of the edge. Got his shoulders lower than the tackle and got the edge and almost came up with a strip sack there. His arm came up. McCoglin did great job of being aware. Just tuck it and don't lose the ball. The most important thing is having possession of the ball when you're down 37 seconds left. But great play to get around the tackle to make the sack.
We see Isaac Walton. He entered the game. If Johnson, he'll have to come out with the cramps. But I tell you what, if that's how he leaves for today's game, Johnson coming up with a big-time play. So now this ball will be spotted.
4th and 17, it looks like.
So this will probably be the game right here. Culver's going to have to get 17 yards to keep the drive alive and keep the game alive. But for Marian, one stop, and that should seal the deal here tonight. So here we go. Michael McColgan. He's got 5 receivers, 3 to the left, 2 to the right, 4 linemen up front. Mishawaka Marian, one stop away from getting victory number 1. McColgan now looks to the right. He's got space, going to tuck this one. Still up on his feet, but they say he's going to step out of bounds. It's going to be short, and Mishawaka Marian gets the stop. And so the Knights will take over on downs, and Andrew, I think we're going to see victory formation here as the Knights looks like they're going to pick up their first win on the season. No timeouts for CMA, and with 29.5 seconds left, Knights are looking to secure win number 1 on the 23 campaign.
That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 turnovers on downs, 3 actual turnovers for Culver Academy. As we said, a lot of missed opportunities in the second half for the Eagles.
So the offense out, led by Bryce Lassane. Again, 29 and a half seconds left with no timeouts. The Knights will assume the victory formation.
First and 10 at the Culver 41.
And so as we await the snap, and the knee as Lassane tosses this one back. And that one's going to do it. There's 20 seconds left, but the clock is going to run out. And by the end of it, once that clock hits 0, that's going to be a final here from Mishawaka, Marian High School here in Mishawaka, Indiana. And it's the Marian Knights who pick up win number 1 and defeat the Culver Academy Eagles by a score of 21-14. So the Knights celebrating here at Bob Tolsky Field. Clocks hit 0, so it is official now. And with the win, Mike Davidson picks up win number 44 and gets the first win here in the 2023 campaign. And for Andy Dorrell, he gets win number 1, or loss number 127 in his 26th year. Next time out for both teams from Mishawaka Marian, they're going to get ready for Buff Jesuit. They get ready for the Braves next week back here at home at Bob Tolsky Field. On the flip side for Culver Academy, they're going to be back at home they're going to be at home for their first time as they take on a 1A powerhouse in the North Judson Blue Jays. We'll be back after this quick timeout to look at our final stats, get one more look around the state, name our players of the game for both teams, and then say farewell here from Bob Tolsky Field. It's the Marian Knights who pick up the victory 21-14 over the Culver Academy Eagles. Tanner Camp, Andrew Bowen, Liz Hoosier, and Mia McComish here from Marian High School in Mishawaka, Indiana. We'll be back after this quick timeout. 2 minutes here on the Regional Radio Sports Network on RRSN.com video.
Did you know there's a place right here in Michiana that provides comfort and care for families of sick or injured children? Ronald McDonald House Charities of Michiana gives families everything they need, whether it's a hot shower, a comfortable bed, or a home-cooked meal. This allows parents to truly prioritize the health and well-being of their child. Because of people in this community just like you, RMHC Michiana provides their services at zero cost to the families. Find out how you can volunteer or donate to rmhcmichiana.org.
There's always a moment of truth where it's either put up or shut up. We were yelling our hearts out. Even in our weakness, even in our pain, we continued to push. I don't know where the pain went to, but all I know is that I had what it took. I am a United States Marine.
PFC Darrell Willis serves his country as a Marine. Will you? Visit Marines.com or call 1-800-MARINES.
They came from every corner of the country, from small towns and big cities. But they all shared one thing in common. They belonged to a family called Marines. A tough and determined few dedicated to protecting everything we hold sacred. And still, they come. Celebrate the history of those proud few who have earned the title Marine.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, wherever the mission takes us, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Back here from Bob Tolsky Field here on the campus of Marian High School, Mishawaka, Indiana. It's the Knights who pick up their first win in the 2023 campaign, defeating the Culver Academy Eagles by a score of 21-14. Well, Andrew Bowman tallies up our final numbers. Let's take a look at some other scores around the Hoosier State. So Adams Central defeats Eastside no problem, 42-7. For Buff Jesuit beats Tri-West by a score of 34-17. Bremen takes care of South Bend, Washington, winning 42-7. Carroll, Florida, no problem against Riverton Park, 62-0. Concord, the 27-10 winner over Jimtown. DeKalb gets a nice win against Garrett, 42-13. Fort Wayne Snyder, good game against East Noble, winning that one 45-28. Hamilton Southeastern, no problem against North Central down in Indianapolis with a 35-7 victory. Heritage gets the win over Fairfield 39-13. Indianapolis Chatard takes care of 6A Indianapolis Tech 46-6. Leo defeats Angola 42-17. Noblesville beats Homestead, no problem, shutting them out 42-0. We already mentioned the backyard brawl. Penn takes care of Mishawaka by a score of 28-7. South Adams shuts out Belmont 48-0. South Bend Adams gets themselves a nice victory by defeating Logansport 23-22. Tippecanoe Valley, no problem against the Zebras of Rochester. 39-8 is the final there. Yorktown defeats Muncie Central 50-7, and a couple games still going on. Michigan City up 29-23 in the fourth quarter against Lafayette Jeff. KV, Kankakee Valley, up 16-14 against Wheeler going into the fourth quarter. Maryville, no problems against Hobart. They're up 31-6. West Central takes care of Lake Station by a final score of 58-10. Again, last we heard 26-7 Lowell over LaPorte in the third quarter. So just a couple of the scores going on in the Hoosier State. And our final from here, Marian, a 21-14 victory. Once Andrew tallies up the final stats, we'll also name our players of the game. Thank the fine folks who have made it possible for us to broadcast here tonight. And while we have this opportunity, want to remind you, check out our website at rrsn.com. We are the Regional Radio Sports Network. Be sure you go to the website, click on Watch/Listen Live, and you can check out all the upcoming games. If you also click on the college logos, whether it's Bethel, Holy Cross, or IU South Bend, you can check out games. Tomorrow night, we've got a top 15 NAIA matchup as the number one Pilots, the 2022 national champions, take on the 13th-ranked Oklahoma Wesleyan Eagles. 2:45 p.m. Eastern Time pregame coverage. That's where I'll be hanging out at Morey Field tomorrow. Foot broadcast in 4 days, and a privilege to put the headset on and get so many broadcasts for this great company led by Paul Condry, Tanya Condry, and Mike Knezovich. 3 o'clock is when the kickoff is, and be sure to tune in next week for high school football as well. More and more games. Anytime Marion's at home, we will be here as well. So this is where I'll be next week as Marian takes on Brebeuf Jesuit. Always a great battle between the two teams. As we look ahead to next week, let's take a look. We'll have Penn at Indianapolis Cathedral. That's a powerhouse game between two 6A schools. As we already mentioned, Brebeuf at Mishawaka. 7 p.m. Eastern Time for pregame show, and 7:30 is when the kickoff will be here from Bob Tolsky Field. Got a DAC matchup between Valparaiso and LaPorte over at Kiwanis Field next week with Paul Condry and the WeFM crew. Lowell's going to be at New Prairie. That's going to be a good matchup right there between Keith Kilmer's squad and Casey McKim's squad with Todd Kibbe on the call. Kankakee Valley is going to be at Andrean next week as Kirk Kennedy takes on Chris Skinner's squad. So once again, check out our website at rrsn.com/watch/listen, and you can tune into all the games coming up, college or high school, on our website. Well, Andrew Bone, he's done a phenomenal job, and appreciate him always being able to come out, provide some commentary as well as take some stats. Andrew Bowen, I know you've been hard at work over there. Go ahead and take it away. Let's get our final statistics for Marion's 21-14 victory over Culver Academy.
I'm a school teacher. Friday night's supposed to be the start of my week. My brain is completely fried first week of school, so do not trust these as gold. Unofficial stats right now. Mishawaka Marian, 15 first downs. They had 6 on the ground, 8 through the air, 1 via penalty. That huge fourth down inside the red zone. Culver Academy's jumping off sides. There's a penalty for the first down then. Culver Academy, 17 first downs, 11 on the ground, 6 through the air. Passing yards, it was Mishawaka Marian's Bryce Lassane, I'll get it out eventually. 13 of 21, 164 yards. On the flip side, Michael McColgan, 14 of 26, 175 yards. Rushing yards, Mishawaka Marian, 28 total rushes, 97 yards, led by Brian Osmond, 58 yards on 17 rushes. For total offense for Mishawaka Marian, 261. In addition to, on Culver Academy's side, 175 passing yards. They had 42 rushes for 161 rushing yards for a total offense, 68 plays, 336 yards. The Eagles were led by Michael McColgan, 18 rushes, 18 rushes, 93 yards, and a touchdown. Tay Rodriguez added 20 rushes, 52 yards, and a touchdown. Mishawaka Marian with 1 turnover in the second half. Culver Academy, 3 total turnovers, 2 in that pivotal third quarter, a dropped punt, and a fumble, and then the interception in the second quarter. 3 total turnovers for them. Penalties, Marian, 7 turnovers, 40 yards, 2 big ones for Culver Academy for 15 yards. Time of possession really evened out there in the second half as Marian kind of took over. 20 minutes, 41 seconds for Marian, 26 minutes, 32 seconds for Culver Academy. You got the rushing numbers, you got the passing numbers. Let's talk about some receiving numbers for Culver Academy. It was Aiden Cartmel, 8 receptions, 92 yards. and Tay Rodriguez, 3 receptions, 70 yards, and Stockton, 2 receptions, 13 yards for Culver Academy. Marian, for the receiving yards, was Braxton Brooks, 2 for 46, Lapino Sete, 2 for 36, Deuce Owens, 5 for 53, Terrence Lane had 1 for 20, and Jack D-Roll had 1 for 14. First half, all of the scoring happened in the first half. Again, Culver Academy got it started, 6-yard TD run. Rodriguez made it 7-0 with 6:21 in the first quarter. Mishawaka Marian on the ensuing kickoff, 80-yard touchdown kickoff reception by Deuce Owens, tied it up at 7:07. With 5 seconds into the second quarter, Brooks for Marian scored on a 7-yard touchdown run to make it 14-7. Culver Academy's answered with a long 6-minute drive, 1-yard touchdown run by McColgan to tie it up at 14-14. And then just before the half, at 27 seconds left in the second quarter, Deuce Owens a 5-yard touchdown reception, making it 21-14. Each team had 4 possessions, in the second half. Nothing came of it. Again, a lot of missed opportunities for Culver in that second half. Their first possession of the second half, 10 plays, only 30 yards out of it, 3 minutes, 25 seconds, but ended on the Marian 16. Their next possession, 7 minutes, 46 seconds, 16 total plays, 63 yards. Again, turnover on downs at the Marian 16-yard line, and then that last-ditch effort of the 4 plays and out. So that's really all Culver Academy did in the second half. Mishawaka Marian, again, 16 yards, 7:06 on a really long drive that really ate up a lot. The last half of the third quarter really kind of changed the tide, put a little pressure on Culver Academy in that fourth quarter, realizing that there's not a whole lot of time left in this game, but that was really the pivotal one there.
And again, all that adding up to our final score of 21-14. Marian gets the win against Culver Academy. Now the series is now 8-7 all time. Culver still leads the series, but the last 2 have belonged to the Knights.
I will say on that 16-play drive that took up over 7 minutes, that was punctuated in between with that dropped punt by Culver Academy. And that allowed them to continue and really eat up some more clock.
Absolutely. Good point there, Andrew. We're going to take a quick minute timeout. When we come back, we will name our players of the game, thank the fine folks who have made it possible for us to broadcast here, and say so long from Bob Boltolsky Field. So quick minute timeout. We'll name our players of the game and sign off from Marian High School after their 21-14 victory over the Culver Academy Eagles. Back after this minute timeout on the Regional Radio Sports Network.
Did you know there's a place right here in Mishawaka that provides comfort and care for families of sick or injured children? Ronald McDonald House Charities of Mishawaka gives families everything they need, whether it's a hot shower, a comfortable bed, or a home-cooked meal. This allows parents to truly prioritize the health and well-being of their child. Because of people in this community just like you, RMHC Mishawaka provides their services at zero cost to the families. Find out how you can volunteer or donate to rmhcmishawaka.org.
There's always a moment of truth where it's either put up or shut up. We were yelling our hearts out. Even in our weakness, even in our pain, we continued to push. I don't know where the pain went to, but all I know is that I had what it took. I am a United States Marine.
PFC Darrell Willis serves his country as a Marine. Will you? Visit Marines.com or call 1-800-MARINES.
One final thing that we have to do, let's turn myself up, there we go, and that is name our players of the game. First, for the Culver Academy Eagles, I tell you what, Andrew, you really could have given it to everyone. Of course, the solid quarterback work from Michael McColgan. I know one other player that you were really trying to have in consideration.
I put in a good word
was
for you.
Aiden Cartmel, and I think if there was a runner-up honor, it'd definitely go to him. But for me personally, I think we had to give it to Tay Rodriguez. For me personally, I just thought that he was able to make the plays and get those extra 4 to 5 yards to at least give Culver extra shots on their drive.
20 rushes, 52 yards, and a touchdown on the ground. 3 receptions, 70 yards through the air. So really kind of kept them going early.
So Tay Rodriguez for the Culver Academy Eagles, and for Mishawaka Marian. Look, the reality is Bryce Lassane had a really nice game. Brian Osmond did some pretty good work, and William Owens made a couple nice plays as well. But this game really comes down to, if we could, we'd give it to the entire defense, because despite giving up the 14 points, they really just made the plays when they needed to. The fumble recovery, the interception. And with that interception and fumble recovery, that is why. And you and I were pretty much on sync and on point with this one. And we're going to give this one to number 16. Check that, number 19, and that's Chase Bays.
Yeah, absolutely. The defense really setting the tone for Mishawaka Marian. They came out, they showed they can finish the plays. They came out, showed that they were still hungry. They didn't let that sour loss last week really hang in their mouths. They came out focused and really put it to Culver Academy tonight. And that the defense, again, setting the tone.
So Tay Rodriguez for the Culver Academy Eagles and Chase Bays, the big-time defensive player for the Marian Knights, our players of the game. That's going to do it for our coverage of Marian Knight football here on the Regional Radio Sports Network. And before we sign off, we need to thank all the great folks who make it possible for us to broadcast, like the United States Marine Corps, the Ronald McDonald House. Also, special shout-out to Beef O'Brady's. You can catch the Coach's Box every Thursday night at 6 p.m. Eastern on 91.1 FM The Globe and globeradio.org. Centier Bank, McDonald Physical Therapy, and especially big shout-out to Troy Gill during the timeouts and touchdowns were thanks to him, and J-Mill Packaging and the Deerole family after our first downs. Once again, our final score from Bob Tolsky Field on the campus of Mishawaka Marian High School. The Marian Knights get the 21-14 victory over the Culver Academy Eagles. I want to thank both coaches. Andy Dole, always a pleasure to get to catch up with him, and Mike Davidson, looking forward to talking with him next week. And next time out for the Marian Knights, they're right back here at home as they take on the always challenging Brebeuf Jesuit Braves. 7 p.m. Eastern Time, pregame show, 7:30 kickoff from here at Marian High School. So from all of us at the Regional Radio Sports Network, for Liz Hoosier, for Mia McComish, for Andrew Bowen, and everyone here at Marian High School in Mishawaka, my name is Tanner Camp. Thank you for making us a part of your Friday nights, and you've been tuned into high school football from Marian High School here in Mishawaka, Indiana, here on the Regional Radio Sports Network. Your ticket to the best seat in the house since 1992, saying so long from Marian High School in beautiful Mishawaka, Indiana.
Hi, this is Paul Condry of the Regional Radio Sports Network. That may be my professional title, but did you know that I'm also the son of a U.S. Navy World War II veteran and a proud father of a United States Marine?